Texas!
Do you feel any different than you did yesterday or following Sunday's game, Sunday's loss against the SEMO Redhawks? How are you feeling this morning, about 48 hours later? We welcome you into a Bandwagon Tuesday edition of the Morning Rush where maybe you're still on the bandwagon of wanting someone fired, wanting someone canned. Maybe you've jumped off that bandwagon. You've come to your senses of sort. You had Brian in Ozark, of all people, defending Dave Van Horn yesterday. Didn't think I'd ever hear that on these airwaves. I forget that he is a Texas football, Texas basketball, but an Arkansas baseball fan. Not that I'm a fan of that setup, but I did agree with him on that. Listen, Dave Van Horn is not blameless in what occurred this season. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he didn't make mistakes. Now, he would be able to characterize and evaluate and kind of unpack more of what went wrong for this team down the stretch this season, but I agree with most of those callers that you just heard at the top of our open. Again, jump in with us. We've still got a lot of baseball to discuss. We've got the Super Regional set for this weekend, kind of looking at the roster, various other things, and we've got some other stuff to discuss as we get going here this morning.
You know what's good for heartbreak or disappointment when you're down in the dumps? You know what will get you through it, Ty? What will get you through it?
Food.
You're right. Tacos.
Yep.
Taco Tuesday. Way to bail him out there, Big C. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina. It's Taco Tuesday, and you can enjoy $1 crispy beef and chicken tacos all day. That'll get you over the Razorback Blues right now. And you can enjoy their Nacho Average Wednesday tomorrow, Throwback Thursday, and Fajita Fridays. But get your week semi-started here. I know it's Tuesday. Start getting over this heartbreak with tacos today at Joe's Grill and Cantina. $1 tacos all day on Taco Tuesday. Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps. I guess you were all choked up still with the
I just thought it was a rhetorical question. Yeah.
What was a rhetorical question?
What you just asked me. That's what I...
Well, what could get you over it? That could be a lot of things. Tacos is amongst them.
That's it. All right, we'll go straight.
Or maybe you weren't listening.
No, I was. I just thought it was a rhetorical question. All right, let's see the McLarty Daniel hotline we go. Where Daniel texted in asking the question: is Dave Van Horn holding the program back? Would Tony Vitello or other departed assistants be the skipper here if Van Horn was not highlighted as much? It seems DVH has been so good at racking up all the regular season wins, division wins, and other titles that he's believing his own rhetoric. College baseball is the same as the MLB. It's all about postseason, period. Acknowledging some regular season rankings is meaningless, and it only sets the guys up for failure in the postseason. SEMO is a great example of what happens when you start believing a narrative, we are good, before the season is in the books. Respectively, Daniel from the 479.
Okay, Daniel's right on that last half. I cannot get on board with the first half. You know, is it possible that Dave Van Horn, if he retired in 2 or 3 years with no title, that the next coach could come in and win that, win one right away? Possible. But it would all be that because the table's set by Dave Van Horn. Dave Van Horn is not holding the program back. I think we all have to recognize there's a certain amount of talent you've got to have. There's got to be a certain amount of strategy, but there's a heavy double dose of good fortune, avoiding injury, and just downright luck it takes to get all the way to Omaha and win it. You got to have talent. You got to have a program built on a firm foundation, but at the end of the day, you got to have Lady Luck on your side too.
Yeah, and we've seen that Arkansas has not had Lady Luck on their side. I do think there is something, and Derek and Zach misspoke yesterday. That rarely happens, I know, but they said that Wes Johnson and Tony Vitello were the assistants in 2018. That's incorrect. That's half correct. Wes Johnson was the pitching coach in 2018. Nate Thompson was in his first year for the Arkansas Razorbacks as the hitting coach, which had the number one batting average in the SEC that year. I do think that Vitello, as we've seen, is a really good coach. We saw it here, and we've seen it since at Tennessee. Think about Wes Johnson's journey. So he goes to the Twins. Then he ends up at LSU. I think he's the assistant there last year. They won a national championship. Then Georgia, he's the head coach. And when's the last time Georgia's been in super regionals? They're hosting and have a chance to go to Omaha. You think about Georgia baseball. Can you name me a single historic Georgia baseball player? I can't. The only one I can name right now is Charlie Condon, the kid that might win the Golden Spikes. So Dave Van Horn has had some really good assistants. You think about Dave Jorn. You think about Wes Johnson. You think about Tony Vitello. We've talked about his coaching tree. Heck, you just lost to one of his former assistants in Andy Sawyers this week. You didn't get a chance to play Burrows, but there's plenty of them out there. But there is something to having a quality staff around you. Think about Nick Saban. Think about the guys that Nick Saban had in his arsenal over the years that were just really, really good assistant coaches. I mean, the list is a mile long. And you can make a debate and make an argument, and I would listen to it, that these are not the two best assistants that Dave's ever had on campus alongside him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the worst, but I think it's fair based on where certain guys have gone since then and had success, particularly Vitello and Wes Johnson, that these are not the two best assistants that he's ever had on that campus helping him out.
I mean, but that's, we're trying to lay all the blame at the feet of the assistants. I mean, that when you bring that subject up, that's what I'm hearing. Chuck brought this up. We've brought this up. Why do we have to, when things end in disappointment, why do we automatically have to fire somebody? This is a football approach to a baseball issue. What is firing Nate Thompson or Matt Hobbs going to do to improve your program?
Dave's spoken to the continuity before. I do think there's a situation where it's not based on 1 year. Like you just have, again, this, like, you lose back-to-back years early in your own ballpark, and I don't know what was worse, getting blown out last year by TCU or this year losing to a 4 seed and being eliminated for the first time. They're both bad, and they're compounded by a terrible football season, a terrible basketball season, and then what happened last year. So it's not, fans I don't think are just looking at this year. They're looking at several years where the hitting has gone awry and been an issue with this baseball team. It's not just, hey, what just happened? It's over the course of the last 4 years or so. That's what they're looking at. And I don't blame them because it has been an
fine,
issue.
but it's emotion, and, who recruits a lot of these? I'm not defending. I'm just saying we need to be a little more measured in our quickness to want to bring the axe down on somebody. That's going to automatically solve the problems. If you fire one of them, who are you going to replace them with? Dave's been pretty good in that department, but I'm not just sure a house cleaning is going to get it done. Hey, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. Immediate openings right now, Northwest Arkansas, North Central Arkansas, looking for licensed CDL drivers for all the summer workload. If you've got that skill, if you've got that license, go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC is an equal opportunity employer.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
Hey, this is Hunter Yurtek, Director of Athletics at the University of Arkansas, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You guys are the best.
This is The Morning Rush.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood couple.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yeah.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Hi, Jim Cash, fourth generation jeweler and owner of the Diamond Center. I'm excited to announce our second annual Kiss and Tell event, and we would love to see you. I will be in store for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th, to negotiate every piece of jewelry. This event is special because this is the best pricing of the year and all still backed by our free lifetime warranty. Come and make me an offer during these 2 days only for our Kiss and Tell event here at the Diamond Center. Visit us before for more details. Again, those dates are Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th at the Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
Hi there, I'm Sarah, and I just had to share my experience with Mosquito Joe. See, I used to dread spending time outdoors because of those pesky mosquitoes. They would always find me and ruin the fun. I would soak my daughter with bug spray, which hardly ever worked. It was awful. I finally called Mosquito Joe, and wow, it has been quite a game changer. They implemented an eco-friendly mosquito control plan customized especially for my yard. Now I can enjoy my backyard without constantly swatting at bugs and reapplying bug spray every 10 minutes. Visit arkansas.mosquitojoe.com.
With the helpful hardware folks.
Why would you wander around a warehouse store looking for paint when you could just swing by your neighborhood Ace? In addition to Ace's award-winning service, we have top-rated paint brands. Plus, our color matching technology allows us to match any color. So stop wandering and start painting. Head to your neighborhood Ace today.
Now through Monday, buy 1 gallon of Clark Kensington or Ace Royal paint and get 50% off at your local Yeager's Hardware. Sale includes interior and exterior paint, limit 2.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade. Another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Freedom is being able to pee off your back porch. Liberty is being able to pee off your front porch.
Yes.
Here's the pitch. A high fly ball to deep left field. Back is Waldschmidt at the fence. He leaps, and it's out of here. Holt hits a 3-run homer, and they're back in the game.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, 877-377-6963.
We were so baseball-centric yesterday, we failed to mention the passing of an NFL legend, Larry Allen. 52 years old, died on vacation in Mexico with his family. One of the best run blockers in the history of the National Football League. I want to talk about the former Dallas Cowboy and San Francisco Giant, Sonoma State. That's where he played his college ball. Have you any idea where I have no clue.
Sonoma State?
Sonoma State.
I don't know, but he was a beast up front and awfully young at 52 when he passed away. So sad to hear that. You know, we're talking about postseason and baseball, all of the odds and everything you want to find when it comes to not just NCAA baseball, but also when it comes to the NBA Finals, preseason odds, and to make the Super Bowl for the NFL, even college football bets, all available at the Oaklawn Sports app. If you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, now is the time. For every season, there's always action to wager on, from, like we said, baseball to basketball to football. Even hockey is on there in the obscure sports as well, all in Arkansas's best sports betting app. Sign up today and qualify for second chance insurance, if you will, a second chance bet on your first bet up to $250. Just create your account, make a deposit, then make your wager of at least $10. If you don't win that bet, they'll they'll give you an equal bet up to $250. Plus, you can use your debit or credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, Venmo, ACH, or on-site cash with the Oakland Sports app. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oakland Sports.
According to Jamie May, texting on the McLarty Daniel hotline, Sonoma is in California. Now, this guy, Larry Allen, was beast. I love these NFL film highlights from back in the day. It just kind of brings you back to the good old days.
In the pit, only the strong survive. For 14 seasons, Larry Allen was a raging bull in those trenches. A force to be feared.
This is a guy that benched 700 pounds. Think about that. 700 pounds. Nearly all of his seasons were with the Dallas Cowboys. He was a first-team All-Pro 7 times, 11-time Pro Bowler, and he was a part of that Super Bowl team in 1996. Now, for all his greatness, for all his dominance on the line of scrimmage, Emmitt Smith remembers him for a different reason.
One thing about Larry Allen I know, he had a big heart, and he lived life to the fullest. A man of very few words, but on the football field, he was a beast.
I was listening to all these outstanding defensive tackles, defensive ends, and them talk about Larry Allen, like post-playing days back in the day. It was funny, Tommy. That was like the one guy they said they didn't talk trash to because they knew they were going to get eaten alive if they, regardless if they talk trash or not, they refused to do it, particularly with him.
No, he was the man up front, and they dominated in the 90s because of guys like Larry Allen up front. So, I didn't notice it till last night. I was watching Oklahoma and UConn, and I was watching the end of LSU and North Carolina and some of these baseball games, and that was on the ticker there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Was first I had heard of it, and he had passed away. I don't know. Did that happen on Sunday? I just saw the ticker.
Sunday.
Happened Sunday, so I just saw that, the news of that there. So, for Cowboy fans and, Big C, that was before your time, really. You're at least probably memorable time. But if you're of my age, you're older, you definitely knew the name Larry Allen.
And again, watching all these different clips, all these highlights, you heard Pat Summerall and all these legendary broadcasters. They would go out of their way to talk about this guy. Not just Aikman, not just Smith, not just Irvin, but this was a guy that even during the course of the game was so latched on to that people loved him, including John Madden, he was just enamored by what Larry Allen was able to do.
Inside the 40, the 30, and tackle Larry. This guy's got a rocket booster strapped to his back. All right, there's the bat by Mark. Right into Allen is still standing there. There he is to the left of your screen. Didn't even get a running start at. Look at this, folks. 6'3", 325 pounds. That's one of the most impressive athletic feats I have ever seen.
6'3", 325 pounds. Gone too soon at 52 years old. Again, passing in Mexico with his family. I know that must have been a very, very distraught thing to have to experience if you remember. He had all these, like Emmitt Smith, you had all these other teammates that were just heartbroken based on the news. And for the Cowboys faithful, regardless of how old you are, he is definitely going to go down in the history books as one of the best to ever do it. It has gone down, I should say, with that news. Now, you brought up the regional final games that happened yesterday. Florida advances past Oklahoma State out of the losers bracket, I might add. Jack Caglione and Kevin O'Sullivan moving on to a super regional, and then LSU falls last night in Chapel Hill to North Carolina. Tommy Tanks and company going back to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, I was just kind of updating my bracket this morning. On that left side, Tennessee, I'm just double checking my handwriting here. Yeah, Tennessee's the only SEC team. If you have the bracket on the left side, on the right side, you've still got Kentucky. You've still got Georgia. If they win their supers, they're going to play first in Omaha. So there's 3 SEC teams. And then I think Florida's the biggest surprise for me out of the SEC to make it to the next weekend. They end up winning the Stillwater Regional. And then if they win their super regional and A&M wins theirs against Oregon, those teams would match up. So on that right side going to Omaha, you could have potentially, and it probably won't work out this way, 4 SEC teams. If Tennessee made it, there's still a potential for 5 SEC teams to advance, and none of them are playing each other this weekend.
Yep.
So,
You brought that up. So 6 teams eliminated from the regional from this conference in the first round. Arkansas, of course, one of them. We had pondered how many teams potentially could make it to Omaha, Nebraska, and the setup and how many possible matchups that we'd see. But you just, again, laid it out. No SEC team will play each other in this upcoming super regional weekend, which I found kind of interesting when looking at it. I'm Team Evansville. First time Evansville has ever been in the super regional. I don't want an SEC team. I think it just twists the knife a little bit more if another SEC team, like if Georgia was to win it or Tennessee was to win it, 2 former Dave Van Horn assistants. Like, I don't want that. And honestly, I don't want to see Kevin O'Sullivan win another one. Who's the other team? I don't care about Mingione. I don't want Schlossnagel. So if I'm going to root for a team from here on out and just pick someone to cheer for, I'm going for Evansville, who is where they at this weekend. They're in Knoxville.
Yeah, they played Tennessee.
At Tony Vitale. So that would be great. You got to remember, I think it was 2 years ago that they got booted by Notre Dame at home in Lindsey Nelson Stadium. It'd be pretty awesome to see Evansville do it. I know Craig Adair and our buddy with Bruce Dan with Pradco Fishing wouldn't be a fan of that, but I am Team Evansville the rest of the way.
I'm just looking here kind of how the top 16 did. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all but 5 advanced. So I'd say the committee did a pretty good job of getting the right teams in. And out of the top 8, Arkansas is the only national seed not to advance this weekend. So we'll keep an eye on this bracket as we move forward. All right, we got your CJ's Butcher Boy trivia coming up in about 20 or so minutes, so hang around for that. Hey, if you haven't downloaded the Hit That Line Now app, be sure and do that in the Apple App Store or wherever you get your apps. You can listen and watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach All Live, your podcast, and the ability to take your favorite radio station on the go anywhere. That's the Hit That Line Now app. Download it today.
All right, more of a Bandwagon Tuesday when we return.
Shop local, eat local, be local.
This is former Razorback Kenoy Kennedy, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It was a very good conversation, Ty.
This is the Morning Rush.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, The Paint Store, Van Buren.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch Razorback Baseball and enjoy everyday food and drink specials like $2 domestic beer or $3 premiums. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Lynx at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Arc Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Arc Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drain, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Arc Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality, price, and comfort you like, the savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
For hard work and the great outdoors.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Just keep up the good work. You're a star in the making. I appreciate everything you say and everything you do.
Here's the pitch. Sprague line reaches for a slider, base hit, right field line. McLaughlin rounding third with a tying run. Jackson cuts it off. It'd be an RBI single by Jared Sprague-Lott.
You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
We're still a long way out from Arkansas and college football. 86 days till August the 29th when Arkansas opens up Thursday night, 6:30 against UAPB. And then college football will open up that weekend. Even college football falls on Sunday, which I'm excited about. It's always a good weekend to open up the season. And we got some news yesterday, reportedly for Brett McMurphy, about who is in the College Football Hall of Fame ballot in the class of 2025. I want to talk about some of those legendary names coming up in just a sec.
You mentioned all that football coming up this fall, and if you're making plans, let's see, I guess the UAB game would be the first football game that you would maybe travel to Northwest Arkansas for. Call now and make your plans at the Inn at the Mill. Our favorite place to stay in Northwest Arkansas because it's conveniently located to everything. You know, when you come to town, you want to do multiple things. Maybe you take in a concert on Friday night before you go to the game on Saturday. Maybe you want to go to Crystal Bridges or go shopping in Rogers at the Pavilion or a number of things that you're the promenade, I should say. A number of things that you should that you can take in. The Inn at the Mill is centrally located at exit 69, so it's 10-15-minute drive to Benton County and everything you want to do there. It's a 10-minute drive to campus and all the great restaurants and everything that are nearby. Inn at the Mill, go to innatthemill.com or 479-443-1800. Start making your reservations for football weekends now. That's 479-443-1800 for the Inn at the Mill in Northwest Arkansas.
So you and I have both gotten to see the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta, Georgia. Really cool setup. They've got all the helmets when you walk in the doors. If you're ever down in that area, highly recommend it. Just going to see it. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Mark Ingram, Heisman Trophy winner, Deshaun Jackson of California, Manti Te'o, Notre Dame. Some of the notable names in the class of 2025. Now, Saban, even though he just retired, is eligible because he's over the age of 70. In order to be a coach considered, 10 years of experience, got to be over 600 in college football, and have 100 games at least under your belt. That's going to be unanimous. It's going to be as unanimous as it ever is, kind of like Paul Bear Bryant. I would think Urban Meyer's going to wind up in there. But just looking at the list of notable names, it's pretty crazy, including Wade Martin, Arkansas's own, who was an All-American back in, I guess, the 80s it was.
Is Urban Meyer a shoe-in? You mentioned Saban. Obviously, that's as unanimous as it gets. Anyone that would vote against him shouldn't have a ballot. Urban Meyer won't be unanimous because of all the other things that have surrounded him. And is it a good year to bring him in with Saban? Does that cloud Saban's entry at all? I don't know. I mean, that's interesting that they would be on the same ballot.
I think that, again, Meyer's been out of the coaching profession for several more years than Nick Saban has now.
He's been out like a half an hour, and he's already there.
Yeah, and talking about Meyer, there's no questioning his football coaching acumen, his prowess, his ability to win games. And Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State. But like you said, it's the off-the-field stuff that, whether it's the Zach Smith.
He won't be a unanimous selection.
The Zach Smith stuff, what happened in Gainesville, Florida, over the course of his tenure. There are going to be some people that, like you said, won't vote him in, but he will wind up in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Probably.
And I would think it's going to be this year, too. But it's not going to be unanimous, like you said.
Yeah, and it's almost unfair to Nick Saban. Not that Saban needs more credit or more notoriety or more spotlight. But that does, the negative always oversells the positive. It's just the media world we live in. And that will be the story, is all the things off the field that clouded Urban Meyer's career, and rather than the on-the-field accomplishments. And that will take away, to some degree, Nick Saban's enshrinement.
Mm-hmm.
Just will.
Why do you associate the two so closely? You
they're in the
mentioned
same
negative,
play. You just mentioned the list.
I don't even. I know
Manti will do the same thing, because what do you think they're going to talk about with him?
The fake girl.
Exactly.
Fake girl.
I'm just saying all those stories because that's what's sensational, and we live in a media world that sensationalizes everything. Saban should be gobbling up the spotlight. He should hog all the attention. He has earned it and deserved it. But if those guys get in at the same time Saban gets in, some of that will be split off. Saban doesn't care. I'm just saying Saban's earned all the attention whenever he goes in. That's my point.
Disappointed sports fan texting on the McLarty Daniel hotline, wondering when John L. Smith will be eligible to enter the College Football Hall of Fame. I think he's eligible. Don't think he's going to get a mention anytime soon.
I think that was probably laced with a heavy dose of sarcasm there. So, but that's an interesting exhibit. It's fun to go through if you're in Atlanta, particularly in the summer. Maybe you're going to a Braves game, or you're just there on vacation. That's a good air-conditioned place to go during the middle of the day. And I don't know if they just kill some time. I think it's worth the price of admission.
Well, some people had vacation timed out to end up in Omaha, Nebraska, whether it was the first weekend, second weekend, or some of you already booked up. I had a couple Morning Rush listeners text me directly on Sunday and Monday that had to cancel their hotel reservations and bookings. A good chunk of them bought insurance, but a couple of them didn't. So they're out $200, $300, $400 bucks.
They bought non-refundable?
They were that confident.
They were that
Early
stupid
on.
then.
Yeah, you could. I guess that you can look at it, but yeah.
I never do non-refundable hotel. Why would you do that?
I'm not in their mind.
To save $8 a night? No, thank you.
Is it that? Is it that?
Yeah, I mean, why would you do it? Well, no, I mean, at least with I normally stay at a Hilton or Hampton Inn, that at Hilton brand of, and there's a prepay and you get a little bit of a discount to prepay and it's non-refundable, but for a few bucks more, you have flexibility. So I don't know why you would ever do a non-refundable.
Do you
talk to these people? I need to be their travel agent, I guess.
Do you do flights that way too? Do you ever book non-refundable flights?
Yeah, because you can't afford it the other way. There's a little bit of cost difference.
It's like $50 to $100 increase most times.
Usually.
Okay.
Now, I usually fly Southwest, but you normally don't lose the money. You just get a credit.
Yeah. And that's typical for most airlines, right? They just give you a credit. That it's not like when they say non-refundable, it means.
I don't know. There's some I flew. Was it Delta? I think it was Delta. We flew when we went to Florida. For my daughter's cheer competition.
Atlanta based.
If you didn't make that flight, you were just out. Done.
They didn't hook you up
nope, not unless it was their fault.
Oh, that's kind of a scary situation.
So if I just overslept and missed my flight, I'm out.
That's
Well, I mean, but you save money on the fare that way.
I guess that doesn't seem.
No guessing. You do. You know.
That's scary though, because I mean, there's so many.
Well,
things
then don't
that can happen.
oversleep.
Yeah, but you've had occurrences in the course of your life that you can't predict, and things just come up.
Well, then you cancel your flight, and you get a credit.
Someone gets sick or something like that.
Well, then you cancel it, and you can get your credit. But I'm just saying, if you miss your flight, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's tough. That is I'm a little skeptical of when I sometimes book those flights, but I guess I like to save money in that sort of case.
Yeah, travel insurance generally doesn't pay off, and it's a racket to try to cash in one.
It is.
Have you ever tried that? Like, make a claim on travel insurance? Good luck.
Is that when they're supposed to pay you for?
Yeah, refund that's what insurance is for. You know, if you have something occur, you can't make the trip, they give you your money back.
I'm thinking of overbooking, like when, let's say, a flight airline overbooks a certain flight, and then you're supposed to be able to recoup certain amounts of money based on how much they put you back. That's what I was thinking of when you brought that up.
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not an issue you ever have to endure. All right, let's get into our CJ's Trivia Tuesday.
This is CJ's Trivia Tuesday, presented by CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers in Fayetteville and Russellville.
It's delicious.
There must be 50 customers out there. It's unbelievable.
When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
So there's been a lot of discussion on Caitlin Clark since she's entered the WNBA. Frankly, a lot of players are jealous on the notoriety that she's brought, and she's helped them out. There's more people watching than ever have. They're getting more accommodations. There's just things. But, again, that has come along with some jealousy. Now, Draymond Green said recently when talking about the Indiana Fever that they need to add an enforcer to their team. And someone that will, again, not necessarily is the most talented in terms of the basketball court, but is at least formidable in the post or when it comes to chat, whatever the case may be. You just need someone tough to kind of protect Caitlin Clark. There's been plenty of those over the years. You think about some of the great Knicks and Bulls players, but probably the most notable tough team is the Bad Boy Pistons. So our CJ's trivia question is, who was the Detroit Pistons center on the Bad Boys back in the 80s and early 90s? Who was the Detroit Pistons center back in the Bad Boys era in the 80s and early 90s? Probably one of the most hated players ever. And we'll get to some of his highlights coming up in just a bit, but that is your CJ's Trivia Tuesday question.
I love watching those like Eastern Conference Finals, Pistons, Celtics. They'd get tangled up. I mean, it was a fist fight like every game. I mean, it was great entertainment when I was, 10, 11, 12 years old.
$25 gift card for CJ's in either Russellville or Fayetteville on the line. Again, quick, easy, and
bonus points if you can spell it right.
Yes, and I think it's pretty difficult. Christian, who we got on the line that's answering our CJ's Trivia Tuesday question?
Arkansas Dave.
Arkansas Dave, what is the answer to our CJ's Trivia question?
That would be Bill Lambier.
That is correct. Arkansas Dave, hang on. We will get your information.
Well, I was going to ask Dave a question, but those games were must-see TV. That to me, I know what Jordan did and all of that, but that's the heyday of the NBA.
Yep, and Johnny Most, the former Boston Celtics broadcaster, who was not a fan of the Bad Boys.
Down by Lambier. Oh, my. Completely unnecessary foul by Lambier, and he has the audacity to complain about something. They have been called a dirty ball club, and I can see why. This is a typical disgusting display by Rodman, Lambier, and Isaiah Thomas. The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
You mentioned that was during one of the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm forgetting the year, but that's when, again, Larry Bird
had
pump
to be
fake.
88, 9, 90, somewhere in there.
There's a Larry Bird pump fake. Bill Lambier bit on it, and he just basically grabbed Larry by the neck, pulled him down, and then a brawl ensued, as it often did with Pistons players, whether it was the Chicago Bulls, whether it was against the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals a couple of times, against the Los Angeles Lakers. It was a madhouse. Now, they loved it. I mean, this was their theme back in the day. The Bad Boys. And again, I think Draymond is onto something there in the sense that, hey, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark probably do need to have an enforcer. And I was thinking about, again, Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, the tag team, right? The Bash, and they weren't the Bash brothers like Bonds and McGuire, but that was basically what they were on the basketball court. Who are some of the best?
That's back when Rodman was like normal. He hadn't left the reservation at that point.
Well, he was a kid. Yeah, he just came out of whatever.
Southeast Oklahoma State in Durant, Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's just a kid. And so Chuck Daly, the late Chuck Daly, didn't have to deal with a lot of the off-the-court issues just yet, like Phil Jackson and the Lakers coach and Greg Popovich and other people had to deal with when he went to San Antonio, Los Angeles, and Chicago. I mean, that team, you had John Sally, you had Rick Mahorn, you had Bill Laimbeer, you had Vinny the Microwave Johnson, Joe Dumars, maybe the nicest NBA player of all time, somehow, some way found himself on the Detroit Pistons, and then, of course, Isaiah Thomas.
Was Muss on staff? And I know he worked for Daly. I don't know if I don't remember the timing of his being a part of that, but may have been later on.
I don't know. I know when he was here, he mentioned Chuck Daly several times and just the respect and just everything that he liked about Chuck. Like him and his late father Bill worked together, I think, in some capacity. But I mean, Daly, of course, the architect of the '92 Dream Team, one of the more underappreciated coaches that's ever coached basketball.
And I wonder if all of that, all of those things that went on, and Isaiah Thomas's involvement. Obviously him and Jordan didn't have any love lost between the two of them. So, I mean, I don't know how all of those hurt feelings and those Eastern Conference finals and, the Bulls were starting to pull it all together at that point. I don't know, if that's the basis of some of that Isaiah Thomas hate for all that. I think they just didn't. I think they genuinely just didn't like him as a person.
Yeah, I mean, think about it.
I don't think it's so much the competitor or the toughness of the games. I think they just thought he was a bleep hole.
Well, they thought Isaiah was the behind the scenes, the architect of a lot of the dirty play that went on, and I think he was. He had them duck the Bulls when the Bulls finally beat him in '91 on the way to their first NBA Finals. They were mad about that. Isaiah was also a Chicago kid, and Jordan just sucked that away from him. And so there's that dynamic. He did. I don't care what Jordan has said publicly. Jordan kept him off the Dream Team in '92. You could say that Jordan has talked about that. Oh, it wasn't me, wasn't that? He kept him off the Dream Team. So yeah, Bird and Isaiah have, I've watched these clips recently. They look like they patched things up. Jordan still hates his guts, and Isaiah still hates his guts.
It'll never change.
So, and I never thought that. Now, Bird still hates Laimbeer with the Fire of 1,000 Suns, but Isaiah and Bird, based on different based on different interviews and clips more recently, it seems there's been an amicable relationship building factor.
Right. That's your CJ's Butcher Boy trivia question. I'm going to tell you, a good big old burger and a big old basket of fries today with that fry sauce would be a great way to get through a kind of a rainy Tuesday morning.
Yeah, and Keith always willing to help you out in Fayetteville, and Keith and Sally in Russellville. I know Arkansas Dave's happy to be walking away with the $25 gift card. We do this every single Tuesday morning, so make sure you tune in for your chance to win a CJ's Butcher Boy Burger gift card. CJ's Butcher Boy Burgers. When all you do are burgers, they have to be the best.
And, we're talking about Bill Laimbeer, and he was the answer to our trivia question. He was a head coach in the WNBA, and we were talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and their rivalry, and you mentioned the enforcer. I hate that I missed that game on Sunday because it was apparently a Donnybrook, and the WNBA's finally found the masses to come watch their competition, to come watch their content. And, boy, you talk about drama. They've got it going on right now, but I know early on Laimbeer was one of the NBA coaches after his playing retirement.
I think the New York Liberty.
I believe that's right.
I think that's great. I don't have I'm pretty good about rattling team names off and stuff like that. The WNBA does not come to mind as quick as you can imagine. But yeah, there's more people watching than they ever have. The ladies, Diana Taurasi and all these other famous all these other great
Detroit
WNBA.
Shock was the team he coached,
okay.
And he did coach the Liberty later on. He started with the Shock.
Makes sense, Detroit guy.
Then was an assistant with the T-Wolves for a couple of years, the New York Liberty and the Las Vegas Aces from 18 to 21.
Imagine your daughter playing for a guy that you may either loved or hated growing up. I would guess that more people hated Bill Laimbeer outside of the state of Michigan than they did like him, but he was a ball player and he was a big part of why those Piston teams were so good. But kind of back to where we started with Draymond Green saying that they need an enforcer. I agree wholeheartedly. I was thinking about like some of the better enforcers, and I'm not as like hockey ones don't stand out to me. If you want to text those in on the McLarty Dana hotline, do so at 877-377-6963. Mahorn and Lambier, two of the best to ever do it. Some of the other ones that stand out, Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson, two New York Knicks. I know that Johnson played a handful of other places, as did Oakley. You've got Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins back in the day for the Philadelphia 76ers. Those were kind of the ones. Did I have another one down? I think no. That's it. Those are kind of the ones that stood out to me. Who was like the enforcer? Hockey, football, basketball. It's not really an enforcer in baseball, is there? That term's seldom used, and if at all, in baseball. I guess if you're just a dynamite hitter, but
it's usually a catcher.
Well, here's the one that first came to mind, and maybe it's the Razorback tie, but the one that first came to mind for me was Steve Atwater. You know, I think about a safety being an enforcer in football, a Ronnie Lott kind of guy, but Atwater was the first name that came to mind for me as the guy that, hey, you come over this middle, particularly in his day when hard hits were allowed and you could take someone's head off. But Atwater's who came to mind.
Ray Lewis.
Yeah, Ray Lewis. That's a good one to add to the list.
Him and Ed Reed. You think about, and when I think about, it's not just that one guy. It's when you can tag team. I don't know. I'm not as familiar as those 90s Denver Broncos teams. I don't know if there was a linebacker or another safety that Atwater a lot of times combined tackles with. But Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, Christian, as you just mentioned, that's a great pick because they oftentimes were hitting dudes at the same time. Brian Dawkins, Philadelphia Eagle. I remember him saying one time to his teammate, "It's like I want to take that man's soul," and it was just, I think it was the Reggie Bush when he was on New Orleans. It was just like looked like a screen route basically in the flats, and he just took his helmet off and took him out of, like, it looked like he got knocked out of the planet. It was such a big hit. So that's another guy that
Lawrence Taylor would be another one.
LT. Urlacher, just guys that this scream toughness, and they are going to run through you to get the football.
The ultimate one would have to be Dick Butkus, right?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. I mean, back when they played with barely a face mask. And you could probably go back if you knew your history and find some guys way back when. You know, I think about a guy that was named Mean Joe Green or Deacon Jones way back in the day, but Butkus would have to be somewhere in that conversation as an enforcer, but I don't know. First name that came to my mind was Atwater, but that's probably the Razorback tie.
Smiling Assassin.
Yep.
Couple texts here on the McLarty Dana hotline. Ozark Bob says Gordie Howe. Dalen from Hot Springs. Troy Polamalu, the USC Trojan. That's a good one. And, of course, a Pittsburgh Steeler. John Lynch from Levi in Southwest Arkansas. That's good, man. He is a good GM, too. I did not think he would transition as good as he has. These are hockey names, Tommy. Bob Probert and Steve Smith. I'm not familiar with any of those guys, but that comes from Philip in Russellville. Text out of the 501, Anthony Mason in the NBA, and Roosevelt Wallace. I know Mason, not as familiar as Wallace. Tony Bua being an Arkansas College enforcer. Think about some of the hits he had.
Yep.
I'd say that's a good one. Jack Lambert, that's from JT in Hot Springs and Hog Mafia. And then Michael in Cave Springs. His current NFL enforcer right now is Michael McCarron for the Nashville Predators. So plenty of good responses on the McLarty Daniel hotline and around that, including Jimmy in Conway who phones in. He's got one of them. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, top of the morning to you, fellas. Hey, I think of a guy like Kamani Johnson, who's not going to light it up. He gives you 120% effort, and he's going to average around 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 fouls every time he's on the floor. You can count on it. He's going to get his fouls worth, and that sometimes you need that. And he was a great player, in certain circumstances. He really did a good job.
Yeah, Kamani, I was curious why you see in the transfer portal, that's a great suggestion, Jimmy. Guys that aren't going to play a lot, just transfer out. You think about Kamani 2 years ago, didn't play really a lick in the regular season. All of a sudden, in postseason, he starts playing. You got to also remember that kid was 6'7", 6'8". He's playing center for Arkansas. And he hit the biggest shot of the season with that put-back rebound over Kansas in Des Moines, Iowa, to basically win you that round of 32 game and defeat the defending national champion. He irritated Oscar Tshiebwe. He did so many things during the course of that season that don't necessarily go in the box score. But yeah, Eric Musselman, I saw he was actually out in Los Angeles the other day with Muss at the practice facility. As hard as blue collar as it gets, he was definitely an enforcer. That's a good one, Jimmy.
Someone said, how would we not mention Dennis Rodman? He was a rebound specialist, but I never really pictured Rodman as an enforcer.
Yeah, he was
a rebound guy.
He was the kid on Detroit, and then he was just kind of the crazy guy that ventured to Chicago. And like you said, he was one of the best, if not the best, rebounders of all time. But it was more of just like the antics off the court and the antics on the court. It wasn't like he's going to bow you up or he's going to set the tone if someone fouls Michael or Scotty. And honestly, they got rid of Oakley, who was the enforcer.
Yeah, Charles Oakley was just crazy.
Yeah, he was
just nuts.
Yeah, that's the guy that I would not miss with Eat of the Day. But we got plenty of text still to get to on the enforcer. We'll maybe come back into this in hour number 2. Got a lot of good responses on the McLarty Daniel hotline.
Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. See our friends Chris and Lee J. They give you a lifetime warranty with every new RV they sell. Premium brands like Grand Design and Forest River and Brinkley. In fact, the Brinkley Model Z, it's the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. So if you want all the bells and whistles, all the features, check out the Brinkley Model Z. You'll find it all at Wheels RV. Again, a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
We'll come back to a little baseball conversation on the other side of a Bandwagon Tuesday. Stay with us. It's the Morning Rush.
Summer camp vacation.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pat Strait from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
Yet, following Sunday's exit in the Fayetteville Regional to SEMO of any team, maybe it's just compounded. It's added up. And it doesn't help that Arkansas football wasn't good this past season. It doesn't help that Arkansas basketball didn't make the NCAA tournament. The baseball team let you down. That's not necessarily fair to Dave Van Horn and his team, but 2 straight years, they finished a little shorter than a lot of people are. In some people's minds, a lot shorter than they initially anticipated. I want to talk about that coming up. Paul in Mountain Home is going to join us on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. You're welcome to join as well. 877-377-6963.
Brought to you by Brad Hull and Kevin Hickey and the Hickey and Hull Law Firms. They have grown their firm over the last 2 to 3 years with more locations to help you. And I was reading a post on their Facebook page that Brad had put up about a family law issue and a mom who wanted to relocate, move to Kansas, but the judge in the matter would not allow that because there was a custody issue and needed to stay here because of the father, but the father was not involved with the child. Anyway, they appealed, which is rare to have a ruling overturned in appeals court in a family law matter. And Brad and Kevin and their team was able to walk that through the process and get the situation corrected. That's the kind of experts you get when you turn to the Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull team at the Hickey and Hull Law Firms. They're in Mena. They're in Little Rock. Home base is Fort Smith, and they're in Northwest Arkansas as well. We'll give you one number to call. So if you find yourself, particularly in a family law matter, but really any legal situation, and you need someone to go to work for you, it seems like everyone you talk to has no answers for you, it's time to call Brad and Kevin. 479-434-2414. 479-434-2414, or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
Paul, the floor is yours, man. What you got for us on baseball this morning?
Well, what I got is, I believe it's the Shaddy curse, okay? Until Carson Shaddy goes up to Omaha and burns his whole uniform and the glove that cost Dave Van Horn that championship, it's never going to end. He's going to have to break the curse. It's the Shaddy curse. That's what I'm telling you.
He's got to burn his uniform and his glove?
The whole damn thing, shoes, socks, and all.
All of it, oh.
He needs to burn it all. Go up to Omaha and burn it.
All righty.
Carson Shaddy.
Well, Paul, I can tell you.
If we thought that would help, I promise you Carson would be the first to sign up.
Yeah. I can
We both know Carson a little bit. He would gladly do that if he thought it would. If there was a curse and that would fix it, he would do it.
Yeah, I can tell you 6 years later, and Carson's a married man. I think he's got 1 or 2 kids now. He still gets Arkansas fans messaging him about how he cost the College World Series 6 years later. So I know that's kind of probably tongue-in-cheek from your vantage point, but it's still, I would guess, I could be wrong about this, but it still bothers him probably to this day. And again, there were other plays in that game that helped. That's just the most prominent because that's the one we all remember. I mean, Eric Cole, Jared Gates went in that situation, but people blamed Carson.
There was a game the next day they didn't win, too.
And, again, I was legitimately watching. I think it was Caden Grenier was the batter at the time that got a hit off Cronin that same at-bat. And then I guess Rutschman went yard.
Wasn't that just a hot shot? I mean, right down the third base line?
I think so.
And, I mean...
We're reliving our pain.
Anyway.
Our pain.
All right, and burning a uniform in the state of Nebraska would help. I'm in. I'll drive it up there.
I think Carson would be all for it. Just know, like, and I want to balance this as best I can because I do think that I'm not one of those radio hosts that just blast a kid. I think we've learned our lesson there. But I'm also like willing to criticize the players, and I think we've talked about Dave Van Horn. We've talked about Nate Thompson. We've talked about Matt Hobbs. Players are at fault for what happened this weekend too, y'all. Right? I mean, they didn't execute in situations that cost your team. We act like it's just those 3 guys the coaches. The players didn't come through for you. You think Dave Van Horn's dumb? You think those 7 College World Series appearances by luck, by players alone? No. He probably put Arkansas in some good situations from a pitching and hitting standpoint. Players just didn't execute. And this again, it's not as prevalent to talk about that in college sports because, quote unquote, they're still kids, even though they're getting paid now. But they deserve a good chunk of the blame for what happened this weekend, too. I love Hagen Smith to death. I think he's one of the best Arkansas pitchers, if not the best to ever put on a uniform. But, guys, Hagen the last 2 postseasons has not been good, just to be blunt. And it probably kills him that he wasn't able to come through for his team this weekend. But that's just what happened. So it's not Dave's fault that Hagen blew up in the fifth inning.
It was really, he walked the first 2, and it was the pitch that led to the home run that nearly got caught that changed the fate of the season. I think we're sitting here talking about a super regional appearance if that one moment doesn't happen, but that's not how life works. You can't just erase the biggest play of the game, maybe the biggest play of that regional.
We're getting conspiracies now. Text out of the 479 says we haven't won a series in Baum Walker Stadium since the raccoon was evicted. So they should have kept the raccoon.
That guy had to have a tetanus shot.
Yeah, but I think it's Grant. I think I actually talked to him in Omaha a little bit. He did. He
learned a lesson, didn't he?
Yeah, he gave me the
tear you up.
The backstory about that because he's got it by the hand or whatever. There are issues, and I know. People can buy into conspiracies and whatnot.
It makes us feel better if there's some kind of curse. We got to figure out how to cure it.
Here's what I don't want to happen, and I know Bruce is going to join us coming up in just a bit. I don't want an SEC team to win it this year. I don't care about the streak that could live on or in the SEC West. I just that twists the knife a little bit to you as a Razorback fan, especially if Tony Vitello or Wes Johnson, who are both prominent assistant coaches here, if they were going to take Georgia and Tennessee and win the whole thing. That would hurt. Give me one of the other, 9? How many super regional teams are there? 16? So what's 5?
8 regional? What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's, 8 super regionals, right? So there's 16 teams. 16 minus 5 is 11. Give me one of the other 11 super regional teams to win it, and not a Southeastern Conference team.
4 of the 5 that remain all host this weekend. I'm not sure you're going to get your wish. Hey, if you're looking for the right financing option to remodel your current home or build a new one, it's easier than ever when you stop by one of Farm Credit of Western Arkansas's 25 locations and let their experts guide you from start to finish. Or you can log on at myaglender.com to see all the financing options that Farm Credit offers. Farm Credit of Western Arkansas, making dreams come true for more than 100 years.
All right, when we return, we are going to talk to Bruce Stan of Pradco Fishing. We're going to get into our final Pradco Pyramid of Power baseball rank. Maybe we do one more after this week. And we talk about...
Does Arkansas stay in it this week?
I would hope not. I would hope that we're not homer enough to put them in it this week. That's coming up on the Morning Rush and our Morning Rush Daily Question.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is Drew Morgan, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I'm going to have to lean towards Ty here.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. Or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
Are we still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The corporal will wait for an answer.
So we're 86 days out from the Arkansas football season. We got plenty to discuss between now and then. Still some baseball to get into. We got our Pradco Pyramid of Power coming up. But for now, we talk a little football. 24/7 Sports came out with their helmet rankings for college football. Best all time. The Ohio State Buckeyes came in #1 on the list. Pretty historic helmet. A helmet that I actually like. Hate the team. Hate the culture. But I think it's actually a pretty historical and cool helmet over the years. Guys, as we welcome in Bruce you got a lot to choose from. High school football helmets, college football helmets, and NFL. You can go all over the yard here. What is your favorite? I hate Notre Dame, but I think that gold helmet's pretty stinking cool.
Let me just say the worst helmet of all time has got to be Maryland's, right?
Oh, yeah, it's too much on it.
It's got the worst helmet.
The one with the flag on it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the coolest.
I'm with Tommy. There's too much
That's so awesome.
There's too
Too
much
busy.
going on. I'm with Tommy. It's too busy. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, I listen. No love for Notre Dame as a football program. I'm excited to go to South Bend this year, just kind of experience the culture. But I know a lot of people hate that school, understandably so. but that helmet's really cool.
The worst two helmets are when Arkansas and Oklahoma wear white helmets. Those are terrible.
Nah,
terrible.
Fans are they don't like the white helmets here. They just like the red and because it's traditional.
Exactly.
And whether it's Penn State, Alabama, Arkansas, they like that tradition, and I get that. Like when they wore chrome before, they wore, I guess, the old helmets back when they played Alabama in 2014. They occasionally shake it up here and there, but the Arkansas, just the classic look is my favorite of the Arkansas helmet.
Well, my favorite of all time is the old Washington Redskins. I don't know if I'll get fined for saying that on the radio, but that old Redskin on the helmet, especially in the 80s and 90s, when they were going to 5 Super Bowls and winning 3 of them, that was the best.
That's good.
The Chargers with the lightning bolt.
That's a good one,
Which
Tommy.
one?
Well, that's a good question.
Dark blue or powder blue?
Probably the powder blue with the yellow lightning bolt is pretty good. I've always thought the Denver Broncos had a cool looking helmet, but I like that.
The old one.
I like the combination of the dark deep navy with the orange.
Crush.
Yeah,
with the big D and the Bronco coming through it. That was good.
Yep, those are a couple pro helmets that stand out too.
I hate Dallas's white helmets too. Those are ugly. Just don't change.
I like the newer. This is a newer last 10 or so years thing, but the black matte. When they use that kind of that dull black finish. I kind of like those on helmets.
That's what Hendricks College wears.
Yeah.
Army, like Army Navy, when they occasionally wear those, Tommy, for that game.
Yeah.
They've kind of got that. So Jason Van Buren likes the matte black TCU helmets. JT Notsprings like the Anserite helmets. I think there's a little sarcasm there. Dean Fort Smith likes the chrome or red helmets. I guess Arkansas wore in the Liberty Bowl a few years ago. I also like just the helmet with no logo or anything on it. Just a plain Jane football helmet. That's why I like the Notre Dame one.
Like Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State just having like it feels more classic and like back in the day to me.
So do you like Ohio State at the start of the season or after the 10th game when everybody's got the Buckeye stickers all over their helmet?
When they add a cajillion.
I remember that from Boys Club, man. You knew you had a good day or you made a big play when you got a sticker for your helmet. So I kind of like the throwback to the stickers.
Port City Optimists. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the preseason #1 team right now, based on them adding Caleb Downs from Bama and Judkins from Ole Miss, and they go play through the Big Ten, which is better than it's ever been with the additions. But yeah, they're preseason #1 right now. So.
Arrow, Bolt, and Screw Pirates. That's what
the what, Tommy?
Arrow, Bolt, and Screw Pirates.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah, it was always cool when you got that.
We were a handful on the field, Ty. Believe you me.
Now, let me ask you this before we move on and get into our rankings.
And Tony Fisher at running back. You weren't going to stop
man, he's a bad man.
And A.B. Schultz. You weren't going to stop
Was he as big and
yes.
midgets as he was in high school?
Yes.
My goodness.
Did
you block for him?
Yes, but you didn't need to block.
He ran you over from the backside.
Exactly.
Stepped over you as he went in the end zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When y'all played boys club basketball,
Park.
Did y'all have to guard the person that they assigned you to, or was it just where? Because when I play upward, you had
a little band.
wristband.
Yeah, like the green. You had
and
to
you
line
could
up.
only guard. They matched you up skill for skill.
We grew up smart in East Tennessee. They told us who to guard, and we guarded them. We didn't have to have a wristband.
Well, I think they just wanted to make it for competition purposes. They try to make it as even as possible.
We never played zone.
I don't even know what you're talking
just
about.
Man to man. You didn't do. Y'all didn't have that either.
We never had wristbands either. No.
I love upward and what it stands for, but man, when my kids played upward, they just run with the ball. They would never dribble. It was just like a mosh pit. They didn't call nothing. Oh, it's terrible.
All right. That is your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by our friends at Red River Dodge. Tommy?
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs. They are Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right. Let's get into our Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Who are the best baseball teams in the SEC? Let's find out.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
This is the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Well, I don't know if we're at the last one. I guess we can do this another week or two, but the field's getting pretty slim at this point.
Pickings are getting slim.
But I've still got Tennessee, as I did a week ago, at the top of the Pradco Pyramid of Power. They've advanced to the Super Regional. Evansville this weekend, as there was an upset on the other side of the bracket, and they get
East
the benefit
Carolina.
Of that. Yeah.
I mean,
it was a 16 seed, but that's the benefit of being the #1 seed.
Yeah. Evansville's 0 for the SEC. They got swept by Mississippi State, lost to Kentucky, lost to Vanderbilt. Most of those games weren't even close. And again, they were early in the year, but Tennessee had 12 home runs last weekend, scored 31 runs in 3 games. Really wasn't challenged by Southern Miss and Indiana. You could always be wrong, but I think Tennessee's going to Omaha against the Purple Aces. Sorry,
All right,
Ty.
so I stepped out on a limb and said that you would have Tennessee number 1, too. I'm going to assume that's the way
They're number 1.
All right. I got Kentucky still at number 2. No reason to not no reason to move them down. They play Oregon State at home, and the SEC of their 5 teams, Kentucky, Tennessee, A&M, and Georgia all at home, and I like Kentucky this week. I've got them at number 2.
Yeah, Kentucky had a tough draw in Indiana State. Brought some people there and actually got upset by Evansville Purple Aces in the Missouri Valley final. But they beat a good team a couple times in that regional. But Kentucky's real, play small ball. They don't pound the ball. They just play good defense. They put the ball in play, and they got solid pitching. They're number 2.
All right, Kentucky and Oregon State. I thought about making a change at 3. I'm going to stick with A&M. They play Oregon. State of Oregon, well represented in the round of 16, if you will. A&M at number 3 for me.
Yeah, and a big win. They beat the Longhorns 4-2 in their own regional down at Bryan College Station. But A&M, Kentucky, and Tennessee all lived up to 1-2-3 billing.
Yep. Georgia at 4. Thought about putting them at 3, but I left them at 4. Georgia will be at home for NC State. They're number 4 in the Pradco Pyramid of Power.
Yeah, I got them there. They had a big win over Georgia Tech in their regional final in Athens. They're going to play NC State. Hog fans remember them from a few years ago, the 10 seed in Raleigh.
Now, 5 and 6 is where, you can really have some conversation. Do you leave the Razorbacks in the Pradco Pyramid of Power? Do you drop them out? What do you do with Florida, who wasn't in last week? They're still alive after upsetting Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Or what do you do with LSU, who made it to last night but didn't advance past North Carolina?
Is Florida still playing?
Florida still plays.
Okay.
I got them at number 5.
They're number 5.
I got Florida at number 5. They go to Clemson this week.
They have the worst ERA in the SEC, second worst hitting team in the SEC, but they're the best fielding team in the SEC.
And then I put LSU at 6.
I do too.
I dropped Arkansas
Wow.
out. I don't think they're not. I don't think right now in a best of 3 they could beat any of these teams.
LSU won 21-29, made the SEC championship, pushed North Carolina in Chapel Hill to an extra game. They played well at the end of the year.
And that game went. It was 3-3 in the 9th.
It was 3-2.
Went to extra
LSU
innings.
lost.
Right.
They gave up runs in the 9th and the 10th.
Right.
With their best pitcher on the mound.
Yeah,
So,
I mean that was I was flipping back and forth between that and then UConn and Oklahoma, and that was a fun baseball
that
game.
break
to
your
watch.
heart, UConn win them?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
Felt good about that. So
There you go.
Tennessee 1, Kentucky and A&M 2 and 3, Georgia, Florida, and LSU round out the Pradco Pyramid of Power. Ty, where are we right? Where are we wrong?
I have that 100%. LSU would beat Arkansas right now the way they're playing.
Would
mentioned,
Arkansas
Nate.
be even number 7 at this point?
I had them number 7.
Yeah.
I had them above Mississippi State.
Okay.
Oh, like you said, they brought them. They lost that game. I mean, they should have won last night. They should
should've
be.
won.
They should be in the Super Regional. Didn't pan out. Congrats to North Carolina and Honeycutt and those guys that Arkansas beat 2 years ago. But LSU is deserved of that 6th spot. Tennessee is clear. I mean, they didn't really face much opposition that Knoxville Regional. It seemed like for the most part. I think they're clearly number 1. You were talking about before we came on, Georgia's not really the team you want to play right now with Condon and what Wes Johnson has at his disposal. 5 teams with the chance to again make it to the College World Series. No SEC matchups. We had 4 last year, I guess. I think it was 4 2 years ago. Might have been 4 last year too, but they're pretty. I mean, you had 11 that made it. It'd be pretty significant if you somehow got 5. I don't think it's going to happen, but if you somehow got 5 going to Omaha next weekend.
All right, so you got 5 alive, as you're just saying. Let's put them in order of likelihood to advance to the College World Series. Tennessee versus Evansville, I think that's easily the most likely. The most likely of the 5 teams.
Even though Ty's
to get there.
somehow a Purple Ace fan, he doesn't even know what a Purple Ace is.
Yeah, it's
so you got Kentucky, A&M, and Georgia also at home.
What state's Evansville in, Ty?
Indiana, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there
okay.
you go.
Come on now.
Come on.
So of those 3, because would we agree Florida's the least likely since they have to go on the road?
No question.
So 1 and 5 are kind of obvious to me since Florida has to go to Clemson. What kind of order? Kentucky gets Oregon State, A&M gets Oregon, and Georgia gets NC State.
Those are all tough draws.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know who's more likely to win out of those three.
Put Kentucky, and you were talking about put Kentucky at 4. Oregon State's probably the most difficult opponent of any of the three you just mentioned. So
I'd agree with that.
Kentucky, you'd put at 4 in terms of least likely to make it outside of Florida, who is having to do it on the road. So I would have that. I mean, you could splice up NC State and Oregon pretty close together. But Tennessee clearly, especially with the draw they got with Evansville, is that.
I'll put Georgia ahead of A&M because they're not Aggies.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, A&M doesn't win championships.
Well, this isn't a championship.
No, but
this is a super regional.
I understand, but this is how,
I'm going to give them the edge because Oregon's flying a long way, and they're playing at home, and they've been playing well. A&M.
I'm looking at this list. I don't really want O'Sullivan to win another national title. I don't want A&M to win. No offense, Bruce. Don't really care for
you don't want
Tennessee.
anybody to win.
If I'm going to pick someone at this list, it's going to be Kentucky. If I have to pick an SEC team to win the national championship, and you've got one of 5 options, I'm going with Kentucky.
You really want them hanging that over your head?
I would rather have that
Kentucky
than a former Arkansas
hanging a championship over your head in baseball.
Just listen. Here's my logic. It's pretty flawed, but here it is. I would rather have that than a former Arkansas assistant win it, which twists the knife even more for Arkansas fans. A&M winning it, which, as you said, Tommy, they don't know how to win championships, but if they do, you can't use that anymore. And then O'Sullivan winning another one.
Doesn't that make you look better and you're able to hire a national championship coach when Van Horn moves on? Don't you want a national championship coach to replace Van Horn?
So would you would you give Kentucky Cal back in exchange for a baseball national title?
I'm not a diehard baseball fan like a lot of people listen. I enjoy Arkansas baseball, but basketball is my first love and will always be that. So my answer is no, but I think a lot of Arkansas fans would. I would rather have a better chance at an Arkansas basketball national title than I would have you can have an Arkansas baseball national title now.
If you pick one of 3, football, baseball, basketball, in the next 10 years, guaranteed, which one would you
basketball.
take? See,
basketball, football,
Tennessee
baseball.
take football.
Yeah, and it's not
all day long.
It's not close, and I think the majority of our listeners, probably 90+%, would say football. Just
they
like
would.
that.
They would.
But
you've already got a basketball championship.
Give me another one.
Okay,
I mean,
that's interesting.
Technically, you had I know that Bama 64.
80,000 people at Reynolds Razorback Stadium would probably disagree.
That'd be awesome, and to do it, and with the postseason changing nowadays, to potentially do it where you have postseason football and Donald W. would be cool. Maybe I just can't fathom it because of how far off they are. And if they were closer, like, say, Tennessee is, then it's more conceivable. And then maybe it's more realistic. And then maybe I realize that this is better. But, yes, I would take basketball.
It needs to be conceivable for all of us in the next 5 years where Alabama is right now. We perceive Alabama's going to be down. We hope they are.
Okay, I will bet that this is the DeBoer thing. I know it's the one everywhere he's been. It is not going to work. The next coach that they hire will, but this is not going to work. It is not going to work in Tuscaloosa these next 3 or 4 years. And when I say not going to work, I'm not talking about them going 6-6 or 5-7 or anything of that, but they'll be in like that 9-3, 10-2 range. But they're not going to be 11-1 or 13-1 or winning national championships. It's not going to happen. The following greatness never ever pans out like you think, whether you replace it with a former assistant, whether you replace it with a young buck, it never transitions like you think it's going to. And it's not, Tuscaloosa is not going to be any different. I don't care how good that football program is.
One place that does historically, Kentucky basketball.
Well, I hope not for
but I'm just saying they usually win no matter who's coaching.
Yeah, and what do we got to go through? Rupp, Joby Hall. Yeah, he's the one. Tubby Smith. Yeah, and there's seldom outliers here and there, but yes, that's fair. Unfortunately for Tennessee fan, Arkansas fan, that is more true. What do they have? 8 national titles? Is that right?
8 more than we got.
Yeah. Let's play more.
In college sports, as far as football, basketball, let's just look at the 2 major sports. There's only 2 in this category. There's John Wooden and there's Nick Saban.
Yeah.
I mean, if no one's going to replace Saban, we've seen 2 in your lifetime, and I kind of got some of the Wooden stuff, but I was really young. I mean, what we have seen is once in a lifetime type stuff.
Throw Bear Bryant in there. I don't think you can discount what he did at Alabama.
No, but I mean, this is what we're seeing is just so. But I'm just saying the greatness. Saban passed Bear Bryant, right? So I mean,
in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
but there's probably some people that disagree with that. But
All right.
yeah,
But I'm just the idea that he's going to be replaced. He'll never be replaced.
no.
There will never be. There is no coach out there that can replace Nick Saban.
He is going to be a unanimous Hall of Famer as of 2025. What they added him, I don't know if you saw that. They added him, Urban Meyer, some other guys to the
Yeah, I agree
ballot.
with Tommy. They shouldn't allow Urban Meyer and Saban on the same stage.
Nope.
That don't seem right.
Takes away from Saban.
See,
and Manti.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't anticipate those being, and you brought up a good word, like the sensationalism that media and folks on social media will utilize when it comes to this. And I didn't think about the focus being shifted. I thought Saban would clearly be the one, but the more and more I think about it after you brought it up with the Manti Te'o and Urban Meyer, so even if they aren't inducted, it is going to take up a good chunk of that discussion. And like you said, it should be, even though we don't like him necessarily as a competitor, he still should get his just due because of what he was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But it is that gap that you talk about with Alabama, like the idea that I think Georgia's going to fill it. I mean, Kirby, the only thing that was really in Kirby's way was Nick Saban. He lost him in the national championship in 2018. They lost in the SEC championship last year. I know he beat him 2 years ago, I think it was. But that was the only coach that consistently stood in his way. That barrier's gone. This guy's what, Tommy? He's your age? He's 48, right?
I believe that's right.
Okay. He's got a long treadway or whatever, the runway in front of him. They are going to dominate. I think that even with the additional playoffs, even with the Big Ten growing in not just size but strength, I would be very surprised if Kirby Smart did not dominate college football these next 10 years.
I'll say this. Texas and Oklahoma are going to make it harder because you're going to get an extra loss here and there because the schedule just got a lot harder. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm. I think, if I remember correctly, Georgia and Texas play each other this year.
And I'm not necessarily talking about this year. It's just every year, instead of playing Vanderbilt every year, you're going to have one of those two.
Because they want to, like, Tommy, what do you always talk about? The networks, they don't pay for Vanderbilt in Georgia. They pay for Texas and Georgia. They're paying for these marquee games. So the SEC, in turn, is going to try and schedule. So these tougher teams, like these really good teams, are going to have tougher schedules and maybe not be as protected as they've been. Because I think Greg Sankey realizes, hey, these teams can still have one, maybe two losses and still make it to the college football playoff because of our strength and the conference's reputation in big-time games.
Yeah, with a playoff format, 10-2, 9-3, that doesn't matter anymore.
Who does Tennessee play non-conference this year? Remind me. Is it a cupcake?
I think don't they have NC State in a kickoff bowl?
Okay. It's one of those teams. I didn't know because you got LSU, USC, you've got Georgia, who we were just talking about. They get Clemson and Atlanta. There's a couple other marquee games that first week, and Alabama goes to Wisconsin, I think, week 2 or 3. But there's going to be some fun off the cup or off the jumps competitions that we'll see early on that kind of set the stages for the year.
And I think, and we talked about this last week out of SEC meetings, 9 games is coming. I mean, you can see it lining up. The fact that profit sharing and revenue sharing is coming. I say profit share, revenue sharing is the correct term. $22 million. That number is only going to get larger. Schools are trying to figure out how to not make vast, deep cuts, how to raise more revenue. That would cover a fourth. Talking about $4 or $5 million a school, it cover about a fourth of what you need to cover that gap currently. So I think 9 games is inevitable and on the way, just because, hey, $5 million is $5 million right now, and they're trying to figure out, all right, how do we cut $5 million, get $5 million from TV, raise another $5 million somehow through ticket sales and donations, and then figure out the other $5 million somewhere along the way, because it's going to take a multi-front effort to clear this, $22 million you're talking about in revenue share.
And then whoever has that home game, you're talking about an extra 15 to 20,000 people. Instead of playing Jacksonville State, you're going to play Ole Miss. You're going to pack the stands more.
So I'm not a fan of unbalanced schedules, but that's where we're headed. So
they have to be.
And then so every other year, you're going to have a little more revenue coming in than the previous year because you're going to have one extra home game.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I like to have, hey, whatever that price is. It's kind of the same for 3-4 years. But, hey, ticket prices across college sports are getting ready to go up.
Good point.
I mean, they are going up. And I can tell you, when they hadn't put out basketball renewals for this year, but you can bet with everything going on, and they know no one's going to turn them back, you're talking $100, maybe as much as $150 more a seat for basketball this year at Arkansas. So buckle up. None of this is cheap. And if you think the manna's going to fall from heaven on this, it's going to come out of your wallet, my wallet, and the rest of us that buy tickets.
Yeah, you go to a Final Four, win a championship, nobody
going
cares.
up. And you hire a name like Cal, it's
going
up.
They will not have difficulty selling those tickets in basketball, but they will in football.
Yeah.
Hey, I got rain coming down a lot of the area this morning. If you're going out after the storm, what do you put on today?
Well, water's on the rise this time of year. Post-spawn, put on a Booyah pad crasher or a popping pad crasher. Get your braided rod out, 40 or 60 pound braid, and throw that bad boy up on the bank and bring him through lily pads, junk piles, grass in the water. Bass are moving up on the bank. I don't care if you're fishing backwater on the river or you're on a 10-killer or beaver. You go up the bank as the water's rising. It's a great time to be bass fishing. If you don't have any pad crashers, throw a Rebel Pop-R or a Head and Zara Spook, throw that top water and hang on. You ought to have a good day if you go out after the storm or go out right now. And, top water's a good way to go right now.
That runoff, can muddy up the water a little bit, but, a lot of guys like that.
Well, fish are drawn to the backs of pockets. Water's running in. There's insects. There's minnows. There's all kinds of things floating around, and it's just a natural draw when it rains post-spawn. Water's warming up, and a little more oxygen flowing in the water. But throw a topwater bait, Booyah pad crash, or Rebel Pop-R, and stay back, make long casts, and you might catch a big one.
All right, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and your favorite tackle stores for that pad crasher or anything else made by Pradco. Good to see you.
Good to see y'all.
All right, Bruce Stanton with us every Tuesday here on the Morning Rush. Speaking of fishing, there's no better place to go than Gaston's. I was talking with the crew at Gaston's just a couple of days ago. A lot of the cleanup is well underway. Things are getting back to normal. So if you're planning that trip or that vacation, they got some openings right now, particularly during the week if you're looking to get away and take the kids. And one thing I want to continue to point out, they rehabbed, in fact, completely reconstructed, brand new pool at Gaston. So, hey, if you got kids of a certain age, being in a boat 4, 5, 6 hours during a day might be more than their attention span can handle. There's plenty for the whole family to do at Gaston's when you get up there. 870-431-5202. They'll answer all your questions. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com. This is Chuck Barrett, the voice of the Razorbacks, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft for the Fitzman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fitzman. 479-782-3936. The Fitzman. He ain't afraid of no work.
Tell everybody, woo pig suey.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. They service commercial and residential lawns for weed management and fertilization for a lush, healthy lawn. Need bush hogging? They do that too. A Cut Above also offers tree and limb removal. Don't forget hauling and dumpster rental as well. More than just a mowing service, they're A Cut Above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstar battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
So Arkansas got a commitment from three-star 2025 Little Rock Parkview quarterback Quinn Murphy yesterday. Yes, Ty, why is this important? Well, it's important because Brad Bolden, coach of the Parkview Patriots, has 5 guys in the class of 25 and 26 that have plenty of D1 offers, including from the Arkansas Razorbacks. Now, it is not as often and as numerous that you see that amount of prospects within one high school in the city of Little Rock. So that's awesome for Brad Bolding. We'll see if they continue on their stretch. They've had some good seasons under him so far, and you would like to unlock some Little Rock talent that has been lacking severely for these past couple of years, and maybe Murphy will be one of the several guys that commit from his own high school.
Yeah, that's becoming, kind of the premier program, I think, without question, in Pulaski County. Bryant and Conway kind of in the adjoining county would like to have something to say about that, but the Bolding brothers got it going on at Parkview, and I think they're a magnet school, and I think right now they're a magnet for football talent in the capital city.
Yep, you go, like, when you think about the great high school football programs in the state and kind of where they were, they won if I remember right, they won the state championship last year. Greenwood did 6A, and I guess Fayetteville did Fayetteville for 7A with Drake Lindsay.
Fayetteville and Bentonville played each other.
So, because I remember C.J. Brown talking about how salty he was about that Arkansas wide receiver, Bentonville guy. But, yeah, that's one of the programs right now that has it going. And last week or a week ago, whatever it was, Grayson Wilson transferred from CAC to Conway. So you've got some...
Followed his coach there, the J.D. Plumley, the coach that was at Malvern and took them to a state championship a couple of years ago, is now at CAC.
Yep, Central. So that is some Central Arkansas talent that you want to keep an eye on. We'll see if Murphy is the only or one of the couple Parkview Patriots that commit to Sam Pittman in this football program. Cal got some good news. Malik Thomas, in the class of 2025, consensus 5-star prospect, is going to be visiting at the end of June. This is going to be one of the many guys that you host on campus in the upcoming classes of 25 and 26. I know he's probably excited about that. Congrats to Wayne Martin, who is on the 2025 Hall of Fame ballot. The former Arkansas Razorback was dominant. Still, I think, is the career leader in sacks all time here at the U of A. And was a guy that was just ferocious in the 80s playing for the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Took him to some Cotton Bowls. If I remember right, he spent most of his pro career with the Saints, or I know he spent some time with the Saints, but he was an outstanding defensive edge player for you, no question.
Hall of Fame Saints player, at least in their whatever their list is.
Yeah, Ring of Honor or whatever they call it there.
Whatever they call her in New Orleans. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Apparently yesterday, Tommy, was National Thank God It's Monday Day. Have you ever said, thank God it's Monday? It's usually the opposite. It's holy bleep, it's Monday. Or this sucks, it's Monday. It's never a positive. I have never in my entire life heard anyone associate anything positive with Monday.
No one. Who wants the weekend to end?
No. Unless it's a 3-day weekend. Like, for example, Memorial Day. A lot of you had Memorial Day off. Again, we remember why Memorial Day is a thing. But that was, I guess, a positive Monday. But rare is it, and I say positive, it's negative in some light because of what occurred and what occurs year after year. But it is rare that you say anything positive about Monday. I never sleep. You and I are in the same camp. We never sleep well on Sunday nights to kind of get back in rhythm. Monday's
a drag.
Yeah, I try, and my Fridays, the only day I really stay up late nowadays, unless I'm out of town, is Saturdays. I try and be in bed even on Friday nights by 9 o'clock. Saturday, I'll stay up till the break of dawn. I'll stay up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, depending on what's going on. But yeah, I never sleep well. I always feel terrible on Monday morning, and it's just a terrible, terrible day.
I don't know who would be thankful for a Monday to roll around.
Not a single person.
Unless you work the weekend and Monday was your weekend.
Now, maybe why it was National Thank God It's Monday Day is because it was also National Leave the Office Early Day yesterday. We have...
Everybody left. Me and Betty were the last ones here. Everybody left the office early.
It's Monday, so
yeah, I guess they took up on for that holiday. So
Mondays, Brent says Mondays aren't that bad. People forget that 2 days earlier it was a Saturday on Friday, I guess, or on Saturday, I guess it was. But I think it's like, especially after Arkansas losses, like Mondays are the worst in terms of just the reaction, the vitriol, the anger that flows throughout our airwaves. A lot of time for listeners, occasionally for me, especially during football season, but it is never necessarily a good day. I will say we haven't got as much negative discourse on the program today as we did yesterday. And talking about, I think people have kind of not necessarily settled down, but rethought about what they initially, because you know how hot. I mean, you've done this long.
Again, we can't let a vocal minority define how everyone thinks. There's a handful out there that want massive changes. That's fine. They're entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong. But I think some of these handful of calls we've had about the head coaching position and Dave Van Horn and, fire everybody kind of takes, I don't believe that speaks for the majority of our fan base at all.
I do what I have, I say come to understand, what I feel like I've come to understand is that this fan base does want to change with the hitting approach. Is that fair?
I don't think that's even right that a majority wants that.
So what would you say? You think they're just par for the course?
Do what?
Par for the course?
I think in the end, you still had a really good regular season. I don't know if it's great. A disappointing finish. But I think, and again, this is kind of where I come from. I don't know if I speak for a majority, but I wholeheartedly 1,000% trust Dave Van Horn. If he thinks there needs to be a change, then he'll make a change. But, I don't think it's my place, your place, or anybody's place to say we take a football approach to this. We need to fire the offensive coordinator. We need to fire the hitting coach. The pitching coach needs to be gone. Defensive coordinator. We take that approach to this. We don't understand all the, it's not like there's 50 people on staff like there is in football to pick up every task and make sure everything's done. Baseball runs a lot leaner on manpower.
Good point.
And I don't think we understand all of the other things that a guy like Matt Hobbs or Nate Thompson provide to this program and assistance to Dave Van Horn. So maybe I'm just putting blindfolds on here, but I think I'll just trust Dave Van Horn to figure out what needs to be done.
It is interesting to watch the pendulum swing throughout the season of which coach needs to be fired.
Do we want
back and forth?
Do we want a better hitting team? Yes, I think we all agree with that. I don't think just changing hitting coaches is going to provide you instantly another 100 points in batting average.
No, but
I'd love to be wrong on that, but I just don't think that you can. I think some of it's you got to recruit a different type of athlete and quit trying to hit a home run at every at bat.
Well, I will say the last 4 seasons where they've exited postseason prematurely and early, it's been because of hitting, not because of pitching, and that's an issue.
Well, we ran out of pitching though this year. We just ran out of starting pitching.
Hour 3 coming up next. Stay with us. It is a Bandwagon Tuesday.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Roll into the season at WT Equipment. Get ready to roll with strong savings on hay tools, compact and mid-range tractors, and even our large commercial-grade hay equipment. Find out and save $5,000, $10,000, or more in cash back. Or get 0% financing for up to 48 months on hay tools, 60 months on mid-range tractors, and up to 72 months on compacts. Hurry, offer ends June 30th for commercial use only. Customer participation subject to credit qualification and CNH Industrial Capital America LLC approval. Standard terms, conditions, and other restrictions apply. Down payment may be required. WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
This is The Morning Rush.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only Razorback store that is owned and operated locally by a family of U of A alumni.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback is the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
That's right.
Hang on, what? Yeah, I said it's the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole. That's what I thought you said, Dad.
Matt, don't egg him on. He's the reigning champion of his own conference.
Cool. Do I get a plaque or a trophy? Anyway, folks, we have the largest selection of all things Razorback.
We do have pretty much everything a Razorback fan could want, from bedroom, tailgating, living room, hats, you name it, we got it.
You can give us a call at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486. Or come by and see us at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville next to Baum Walker Stadium. Hey, Matt, you want to tell them about the interweb, Instagram, Facebook Dad. thing? I think he means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. And it's Facebook, Instagram, and X. What about Twitter?
You mean Twitter, not Tweeter.
And it's called X. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yes, we know, dear.
Just remember, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, and we need your trade. This month, the trade-in acquisition event continues with up to 27% bonus cash on your trade on any one of our road-ready certified used cars with warranty. You can't buy a better used car, and you can't pick a better time than right now. Up to 27% bonus cash for your trade, another reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Have your travel plans changed? Looking for a place that's close to home and keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, the clouds will increase. Chance of seeing some scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, or high temperatures today, low to mid 80s. Tonight, a chance of showers and scattered thunderstorms, and overnight low upper 60s to near 70. And another round of showers and thunderstorms Wednesday, highs near 85 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. TERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 86 days.
Tommy, I just want to tell you, I need to find a new hobby.
What are we talking about as far as wanting Dave Van Horn gone? He's been here since 2003, for 21 seasons. He's made 7 College World Series appearances. So 1 out of every 3 years, Dave Van Horn, when he's coached at Arkansas, is taking us to Omaha.
Dave Van Horn has been the most consistent and best coach at Arkansas for the last 20 years in any sports. There's nobody better than Dave Van Horn at Arkansas. You didn't have Dave Van Horn, you wouldn't have Hagan Smith. You wouldn't have any of these kids that were on this team, period, because they want Dave Van Horn. Most of them didn't come to play for Arkansas.
I'm not even really going to talk about my balls. I know better than to run your mouth about baseball. So I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I lived through the days of fire Bobby Cox, fire Bobby Cox, fire Bobby Cox. All they did was have the winningest record in the NL, and they never hit the big one. So I know better. It's baseball. The same freaking people that want to fire Dave Van Horn probably are the ones voting in these stupid politicians that ain't done one thing right since Van Horn's been the coach.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McLarty Daniel Hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
And we welcome you back to the final hour of a Bandwagon Tuesday, where we've got our Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog update coming up. Tom Murphy as well. Continuing on the baseball conversation, following Arkansas's early exit in the Fayetteville Regional. And 5 SEC teams remain in the Super Regionals this weekend of the 11 that were initially in. Of course, Arkansas, not one of those teams. Curious to see what happens these next few weeks. But Tom, as we were kind of talking about during the break, I'm not going to spend a lot of time watching college baseball these next few weeks.
I'll keep an eye on the SEC teams, and I'll watch a little more once they get to Omaha. I'm interested to see how they do this weekend, but quite honestly, there's bigger and better plans I've got for this weekend. Problem is, I had plans to integrate Razorback baseball into my weekend coming up, and it's not going to work out that way. All right, Pro Hog Update coming up. We're brought to you by The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security around your property? Problems with theft or problems with people entering maybe your warehouse yard or entering your property without permission or without access? Maybe you need powered automatic gates. Maybe you need higher fences with more security. They can do that for you with The Fence Man. They install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Walk-through gates that require a card that scans to get in or a code to get in. They do that every day. So call The Fence Man. Ask them about that. Also, 18-month same as cash financing available as well. 782-3936 is their number. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
This is the Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog Update.
Sledgehammer in there by Gafford.
Whether you're listing, selling, or leasing, Lindsay and Associates can handle all your real estate needs. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. At Lindsay and Associates, we bring great neighbors together.
So regardless of what happens in the NBA Finals, which starts on Thursday, an Arkansas Razorback will walk away with the ring, whether it's Jordan Walsh and the Boston Celtics or Big C's Dallas Mavericks. Now, Christian, of course, we know who you're going for. Daniel's been fantastic these playoff games thus far, and expecting a big series from him in these playoffs.
Yeah, they'll play game one on Thursday night, and you're right, Ty. He's going to be relied on heavily by the Dallas Mavericks if they want to win an NBA title. I don't expect Jordan Walsh to play at all, just because mainly I don't see there being a big lead by either of these teams, like a 20-point lead very often in this finals. So I expect it to be close, and it'll be exciting to see Daniel Gafford play on that stage, his first NBA finals. Not many players get to play in a finals, and he'll get a chance to hoist the trophy.
There's a streak of 6 or 7 straight years where a former Washington Wizard has been with the NBA Finals. That franchise has flailed and failed time and time again. But Daniel, of course,
that's just coincidence, right?
It's one of the. I heard him and PJ Washington talk about that. PJ, I think, was a Charlotte Hornet playing for Michael, and then that. It's like the Hornets were terrible, the Wizards were terrible. Then they got actually added to a good team and a good organization, and they're good. So sometimes, again, we've talked about bad situations like Tyler Darren getting drafted the non-Al Davis Oakland Raiders. I know Al was alive at the time, but that wasn't the real Oakland Raiders. I mean, good players just get in terrible situations, and they don't produce because they're in those situations. They produce, and it doesn't help out. But like I said, happy for Daniel. El Dorado's, I think, 6 hours from Dallas, 7 hours from Dallas, a lot closer than all the way out east to Washington, D.C. And he's been unbelievable. We talked last week or so ago. I mean, he's on the NBA Tonight set with Charles, Kenny, Shaq, and EJ, and he's talking about El Dorado, Arkansas, and what was the Hagen Hill? I think is what it was. Yeah. So it's just pretty cool to watch him on the biggest stage as one of the more underrated and likable Razorback basketball players this last decade or so.
Yeah, and Porzingis was on the Wizards for a short time too.
Good point. Yep.
So that makes your point even more valid there. And then we'll go to MLB. Jalen Beeks, he is 2-2 this year with a 2.93 ERA. He has appeared in 25 games. He's got 6 saves, 27 2/3 innings pitched, and 23 strikeouts. We got Andrew Benintendi this season. He's got 190 at-bats, 37 hits, 4 home runs, 18 RBIs. He's got 2 stolen bases, and his average is up to 195. And then we got Isaiah Campbell, 0-1, 12.79 ERA in 7 games pitched, 6.1 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. Isaiah Campbell hasn't really pitched that much this season. Well, maybe he'll we'll see that change. Dominic Fletcher, 75 at bats, 13 hits, 6 RBIs, batting 173. And then we've got let's see here. We've got
papers are sticking together.
Yeah, Grant Cook, and we saw him score a run. I believe it was last week for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's got 7 at bats, and he's got no hits or home runs right now. No RBIs.
Yeah, that was his first time to cross the plate in the big league game.
Pitching for, and I didn't know this until Phil brought this up on halftime. He was the, I guess, AAA catcher for Paul Skeens in what was in Indianapolis or wherever it was. So
he brought him along because he wants Grant to catch him.
Yeah,
so.
Which is it speaks to the Fayetteville Bulldog and former Arkansas Razorback. Grant was never the best hitter in college. He's not going to be the best hitter in professionals. But I was listening to Phil talk about there is a real appetite occasionally here and there for a backup catcher, and if the best prospect pitching-wise in all of the MLB right now wants you as your catcher, wants you as his catcher,
you're going to be there.
You're going to be there.
Yeah.
So I hope that stays that way. 2 other notes real quick in your Lindsay and Associates Pro Hog update before we talk to Tom. I was thinking about this. You got Hagen and Peyton Stovall that are going to be drafted first round in this upcoming MLB draft. I wonder, like, Kendall Diggs has a decision to make who didn't have the best season. You've got several other guys, but, I mean, you'll have double digits probably once again with the combination of the guys that you have on campus and the ones that are coming out of high school that will be drafted in this. And that's just, like, you think about double digits, we always talk about, hey, there isn't enough Arkansas football players drafted, or basketball's got a good chunk, but that's like almost standard now for Arkansas baseball that you have the combination of double-digit players that are drafted.
Yeah, and of course there's more spots and more rounds, and you compare it to a 2-round draft in basketball. It's not the same. But to your point, they've shrunk the draft from what it was pre-COVID. But yeah, you're right. We've got more presence there because you have a premier program.
Yeah, and then I also saw Isaiah Joe this past weekend, who's back in Arkansas, which is pretty cool. I know that he's excited. I'm curious. I haven't seen any news. Maybe I haven't seen an update or anything. He's got a team option for this upcoming season for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I hope Sam Presti and that organization picks it up based on the season he had. Started a few playoff games for the Thunder, replacing Josh Gideon. Thought he was solid the playoffs, as was Jalen Williams. So just kind of curious about that. It's cool to see Isaiah over the weekend.
All right, that's your Pro Hog Update. It is brought to you by Lindsay and Associates. They've been around for more than 50 years in Northwest Arkansas. They can take care of everything in the real estate business you might need. Listing, selling, leasing, they do everything. Lindsay & Associates has over 200 professionally trained agents, 3 convenient locations, Fayetteville, Rogers, and in Bentonville. Lindsay & Associates, they are your winning choice. Go to lindsay.com to search all the current real estate inventory. Hey, at Lindsay & Associates, they bring great neighbors together.
Sounds like Tom Murphy is detained for the moment, so we will venture into an unfortunate news that we got over the weekend. Larry Allen, the 52-year-old Hall of Famer, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Sonoma State, passed away in Mexico with his family. Larry Allen's one of the best run blockers of all time, 1996 Super Bowl champion, and was just a force in the trenches.
Only the strong survive. For 14 seasons, Larry Allen was a raging bull in those trenches. A force to be feared.
And we always, when we talk about the Cowboys, we always talk about Aikman. We always talk about Irving. We always talk about, I mean, we mentioned Dion here and there. We talk about Emmitt Smith. But as you and Chuck have pointed out to me several times, those teams aren't the same without guys like Larry Allen in the trenches that just like the organization, like, again, there a lot of times linemen are glossed over both defensively and offensively, but that team is a different team if not for Larry Allen in 1996.
No question. And that's where they won all those championships up front. So yeah, absolutely. And Larry Allen was the alpha amongst that group. So outspoken, one of these guys that always had an opinion. Hard to see. You said he died in Mexico on Sunday?
Yeah.
On a family vacation. That's just terrible. So
don't know really the basically the status of why he passed away, but yeah, 52's not exactly old. So it's unfortunate, and he had a bunch of players that came out in not defense, but what's the proper way to put this? In remembering of Larry Allen, including the Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, who had this to say about his former teammate.
One thing about Larry Allen I know, he had a big heart and he lived life to the fullest. A man of very few words, but on the football field, he was a beast.
Gone too soon. Again, the Hall of Famer, 52 years old, no longer with us. Larry Allen dead, unfortunately. And again, a family of all things. Like, I mean, death is never sneaks up on us. It comes out of the woodworks. It's never something that you want to endure. But on a family vacation of all things,
and being out of the country, they can't make it any easier to navigate that. But you just think about Larry Allen, and the name Nate Newton comes to mind. Stepnowski. I mean, anyone that was a Cowboys fan in the '90s knows that offensive line. Up front, you had Eric Williams, Mark Tuinei, and of course Larry Allen, Hall of Famer. That was the secret. I mean, you had the triplets with Aikman and Emmitt Smith, but those linemen were really the secret ingredient to all those championships in the 90s.
Yep. JT in Hot Springs calls him the greatest right guard in NFL history. He texted in on the McLarty Daniel hotline. And I don't know if he was ever characterized as an enforcer, but he definitely enforced up front. And we were earlier in the first hour discussing enforcers back in the day. For those that don't know, like some of you have seen it, Caitlin Clark got a little bit of scuffle and is really has not had the best of starts to her rookie season facing off against WNBA players. And it's jealousy is a big part of this, right? And I understand, honestly, both sides. I understand Caitlin getting frustrated with what's going on. I also understand other players that have been working, putting the time, the work in, and seemingly not getting any spotlight until she entered the league. Draymond Green posed an interesting idea, and I agree wholeheartedly 100% that the Indiana Fever need to sign an enforcer for that basketball team. And you think about some of the great ones over the years on men's side of things. Think about Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson, Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, and some of the others. And we were kind of talking earlier. You brought up Steve Atwater, which is a really good one. Tony Bua, or plenty of other ones. Troy Polamalu is another one. And we also mentioned, we didn't get to this one, but you said this during the break, Dan Skipper.
Dan Skipper would be probably one of the better enforcers in recent years in Razorback history. Yeah, I mean, he took care of business. And if there was something dirty going on or a little scrum, he was always right in the middle of it.
Found himself in it. And the thing about Skipper is, like, if you went to practice, like we got to attend during the Bielema years a handful of times, he, like you said, was in the middle of the offensive and defensive lineman skirmishes. A lot of times he would laugh. Even like in Detroit, you'd see him time to time get into some of these. And there was this clip that we played from Dan Campbell, who was just gung-ho about Skipper, who, if I remember right, got moved to guard in the middle of the season, a position he had never played before this past year. But listen, I don't like Aggies, but Dan Campbell, even though he's a Texas A&M grad, I actually like him as a football coach. He's about as high on Dan Skipper as any of his players up there in Detroit.
Yeah, and so I mean, when you think about enforcers, and you're talking about this, and we're blurring lines here with WNBA and talking about NFL. I mean, you're comparing apples to bumper cars, in my opinion. But I think this whole controversy, and if the WNBA will play this right, can really draw even more of an audience in. I don't know what the numbers were for the game over the weekend, but anytime Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are going to play each other, I think you're going to find a big audience for that. They need to play this up. And if Angel Reese has to be the villain and Caitlin Clark's the hero, great. It's good for it's a rising tide that's lifting the entire boat of the WNBA. I don't whether it's jealousy, whether I think there's some of it because of Caitlin Clark's background. She's a white player from middle America. And I think with some that really built this WNBA over the last 25 years and haven't been given the credit for that, that's not setting well. But the reality is you can't do anything about the past. Now you have an audience. Now you have the masses watching. How do you keep them here? And if you don't handle some things right now, you could run them off.
And we got a couple texts in about Dennis Rodman being an enforcer. You and I agree that he wasn't
a rebounder.
Yeah, he was a rebounder, and he was just
wasn't an enforcer. He wasn't an intimidator.
Yeah, no one was ever like scared. They were just kind of like, what is Rodman going to do today? He was going to get you 16 boards during the course of the game, not
and 2 technicals.
Yeah, and tip many shots. And I know Phil Jackson. I know the old story back in the day was Michael asked Phil, "Can you handle him?" And Phil was like, "I think so." And there was even that time where I guess Rodman went to Vegas for a day or so. Michael had to go get him. And just the stories. But yeah, he is not the enforcer like some
he was
of
with Carmen Electric. You can't really blame him.
No. Some of the texts that we got in, like Taylor in Greenwood says Dwight Howard and Shaq. Shaq was like a lovable enforcer. I mean, he hits you if he needed to every once in a while, but that is
he was just so big you weren't going to mess with him.
Yeah. Daniel Gafford is apparently turning into an enforcer, comes from Levi in South Greenwood. You talk about some of the best blocks in the playoffs this year. Daniel's been all over those. I mean, how many times has a guard for one of the teams in the Western Conference got on the rim and Daniel's swatted it away? He has been awesome on that side of things. But back to your Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese comparison. I mean, think about, I remember, so I love Celtics documentaries and Lakers documentaries and books on this stuff. I remember Cedric Cornbread Maxwell talking about this when Larry got in the league. It's like, this white guy can't play. And then he's like, he had a jumper in his face, and he had another jumper in his face, and he had another jumper in his face. I mean, Caitlin Clark's play is going to get to a point where she's going to earn respect from her peers. She doesn't have it right now. In fact, she's hated. And I don't blame a lot of the WNBA players like that because they weren't getting any attention. And now she comes to the league and there's people, I don't blame them for that. But I think I've just compared her to Larry Bird, so maybe that's a bridge too far. But I think she is the caliber of player that over time will show not just her teammates, but opposing players that, hey, I might not want to mess with her because she could drop 30 any given night. And while she's going to have some ups and downs in her rookie season, she is someone that you will actually tune in and watch night in, night out. And what they did with Larry and Magic back in the day, and they should do this with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark based on the differences, not just racially, but in just their style. One's a big man, one's a guard. Is you pin up Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and parallel them in games back to back, like Reese's Chicago squad and then Indiana. You play them back to back games, and then when they play, you market the absolute you know what out of it, because that is a game that people like myself, who, to be honest, have never watched a single NBA WNBA game from start to finish, I would actually watch that game from start to finish because of the rivalry, because of the animosity, and because
conflict.
The conflict.
We all like drama and conflict.
Exactly.
TV is based around drama and conflict anymore, and that's what we crave as American viewers, whether it's sports, news, or otherwise. We love drama and conflict. Speaking of the Indiana Fever, I'm looking here on the Bet Saracen app. They play the Washington Mystics on Friday at 6:30. Fever catching a point as the Mystics are the favorite. And you mentioned Chicago. They play the New York Liberty. The Chicago Sky are underdogs at 7.5. You can get WNBA action. It's also noticing here on the Bet Saracen app, Ty, Arkansas and Texas A&M already a line out for that. And the Arkansas LSU games are out.
I'm going to say A&M is a 5-point favorite and LSU is like a 3-point favorite.
All right, you missed wildly this time.
Oh, wow.
A&M's an 11.5-point favorite.
Wow.
That game on September 28th at noon is what. Well, they just got noon and there's a placeholder.
Yeah.
And then LSU is a 9.5-point favorite.
Okay. Both basically around double digits, even though the LSU one's right around.
Just call them 10-ish.
So
in both of those games. Bet Saracen, download the app. You can start seeing some of these lines. There's more wagers on those games as well that you can pick out right now.
A week from today at 1:00, the SEC will announce the kickoff times for the early games for the entire season. They're doing it differently this year with being partnered with ESPN and ABC. So if Arkansas is in any early games the rest of the season, you'll know about it next week. So you can game plan well into the summer before this upcoming football season. All right, when we return, we'll take some more of your calls next.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
Hey, this is Billy Ray Smith Jr., and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
I'm ready to roll right now, Ty. Have a great day.
This is the Morning Rush.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten to your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bushfield. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, Jim Cash, fourth-generation jeweler and owner of the Diamond Center. I'm excited to announce our second annual Kiss and Tell event, and we would love to see you. I will be in store for 2 days, Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th, to negotiate every piece of jewelry. This event is special because this is the best pricing of the year and all still backed by our free lifetime warranty. Come and make me an offer during these 2 days only for our Kiss and Tell event here at the Diamond Center. Visit us before for more details. Again, those dates are Friday and Saturday, June 7th and 8th at the Diamond Center, a legacy of love.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSAuto.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Dallas Street Dental. Refuse to compromise when it comes to replacing missing teeth. Dr. Bill Ligon at Dallas Street Dental can make your smile look, feel, and function almost exactly the way it did before you lost any teeth. In some cases, even better. Dental implants function like your natural teeth and make it possible for you to enjoy those juicy steaks this grilling season. Look younger and smile with confidence with dental implants from Dallas Street Dental. Schedule your free implant consultation today at 479-452-6600.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
You're right on, spot on, and I'm with you, buddy. Thank you, sir.
The 1-2. Aloy, a swing and a high fly ball to deep left field. Chased by Sorrell at the wall. Get out of here. The Heba Aloy ties it up. It's his second home run of the series and 13th of the year. And he was waiting on the changeup. So they out through one too many.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Vaheva Aloy, I've heard it both ways, is going to be one of those guys, unless he hits the portal, that is going to come back for this Arkansas baseball team this next season. You lose a lot, though, this upcoming season. Dave's talked about that, and we'll kind of talk about maybe some possibilities in just a sec. I'm really curious to see what Kendall Diggs elects and decide to do. I still think he's going to go to the MLB draft, but we'll have to wait and see. Tommy, next year will be 6 years that next month will be 6 years that we've worked together. Has time flown by? Is it dragged by?
Seems like 15.
Seems like 15. Is it aged on you?
Oh, yeah. A lot more gray hair.
Yeah. Well,
has it been 6?
6 July 31st. Moved here in July of 2018.
How long have we been doing the morning show together? 5?
COVID, February of 2020. That's when Bleep hit the fan, So it's dragged on, right?
Oh, so it's been 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years, I guess. Will be, 5 years this February. It'll fly by. It's pretty crazy, pretty wild. Now, 6 years is a long time, right? But 25 years is even longer. And somehow, some way, Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources has convinced some of his employees to work with him for 20-plus years. Now, I don't know if that's what is that a testament of, you think?
Is that a joy or is that a sentence, Larry?
I don't know. He was talking about
court mandated?
He was talking about the chains he's got behind in the office and everything. I stopped by and visited him yesterday, and I was getting a little worried that I was going to get chained up. But
get flogged.
Yeah.
Oh, you're chained up. You just don't know it yet.
What are you doing, my man?
Oh, just getting ready for a big day. Really excited about our trade-in acquisition event. You know, what we need more than anything is trade-ins, and so we're putting those bounties out there on them. It was a big success last month, and this month it's going to be great too. Up to 27% extra for your trade. We're really excited about that. There's never been anything like it in the market, and we're going to make sure that people can trade their cars. You know, there's so many people out there that are having trouble with their equity situation. You know, I'd say they're upside down, but that's kind of a slang term. But you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people that bought cars back during that COVID period you guys were talking about, and they've got some equity situations, and we're looking for every way we can to help them. When it's time for them to trade, we want to help them do it. Right now, it's up to 27% extra for your trade. So, folks, you've been told no other places. Come on in and give us a chance at Wrap Auto Resources. We'll get you into that better car you've been wanting and make it easy for you to find the financing that fits your situation. And, you know, everybody's situation is different. Maybe you got perfect credit and you're looking for the very best rates you can get. We've got those banks and lenders, credit unions lined up wanting to help you do that. Maybe you've had some problems or some struggles in the past. You kind of need a second chance. We got lenders that do that too, and kind of everything in between. Great relationships with those lenders as well. Ty was talking about some of the employees around there. The secret weapon, really, for the Wrap Auto Resources and Wrap Mitsubishi businesses is the people. We've got the very best people, and we went to work on that 2 or 3 years ago to make sure that we had this great core of people, and we brought in people just like them. Folks, if you're looking for somebody that'll hustle and really go to work for you, try to help you do what you're trying to do, the team at Wrap Auto Resources will do that. And Ty was kind of mentioning Philip back here in the shop. You know, Philip came to work when he was 18 years old. He knows everybody in town, takes care of their cars for them. Folks, if you're looking for a guy that'll take care of your car for you, come on and see Philip and his team in the Meineke Car Care Center. Nate and his team up in Springdale in the Meineke Car Care Center. Those guys are just doing a terrific job. If you're looking for a new car, the Mitsubishis, we're so proud of that lineup. I'm going to be down there today. Come by. Just take a look at them. Take a test drive. See what you think about this Mitsubishi product with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Rates as low as 0%. Got all the good incentives going on. Got some great road-ready certified cars with warranty at both locations. So it's really just a great time to come in. We hope you'll come and see us. Wrap Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center in Fort Smith, Wrap Mitsubishi in the Meineke Car Care Center in Springdale. Check us out online at wrapauto.com.
Make sure to follow them both social on Facebook, too. They always got giveaways seemingly going on. And if you need some reassurance that you're going to the right place, over 800 reviews, 4.9 rating. That is unheard of in the car buying business.
You're embarrassing me now, Ty.
I'm making you blush.
4.9. Making me blush with that star rating.
And make sure to ask David what the best Back to the Future movie is. Right, Larry?
Yeah, he'll take care of you on that.
All
yes,
right.
sir. We can have a good discussion about that.
All right, brother. Talk soon.
Hey, you guys have a good day, and folks, come and see us.
That is, again, Larry Rath of Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Rath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Now, Tommy, you tell me if I'm onto something when it comes to this baseball team. And you were 100% right when you opened the first segment of this hour, talking about that it is a smaller minority that has more flamboyant and hot takes about what should happen, that someone should get fired. I think that the combination of a terrible football season, a terrible basketball season, where baseball usually saves us in these situations, like i.e. 2012, 4-8, didn't make the tournament. I think that was Mike's first year. And then you went to the College World Series. That, unfortunately for Dave and his staff and his players, has added to the pressure when the other two main sports on this campus in Fayetteville, Arkansas, don't perform. And not even live up to expectations, didn't perform at all.
But I think we all agree, 100% unanimous, that we're all for better offense. We're all for a higher batting average and more timely hitting. So, but will changing coaches do that? We can have that debate later. Hey, I don't know about you, but Tuesday, rainy. I want some comfort food. I'm going to head to Art's today. Big burger selection there. The Art Attack's got it all on there. They've got their classic burger topped with their house-made bacon. Then they throw on smoked ham and an onion ring and a fried egg. That's kind of got the kitchen sink burger. They got 10 different burgers. I love the brisket burger there and the Wild West burger if you want something a little more spicy. Try one of their 10 great burgers made at Art's Barbecue, Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Spring.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all summer sports, from Major League Baseball, golf, to the NBA and NHL playoff stats. They've got all the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Madonna has gone from like a virgin to like a surgeon. You can try to nip and tuck from the curse of sin, but eventually death is going to win. God will do major surgery on this sin-filled world, and when he does, people will try and hide their faces from him. Even plastic Christians won't be exempt. Look up Isaiah chapter 2 and see how the spiritual world renders this an immaterial world. I'm Pastor Abe from Woodland. Read about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations. Call or text the McLarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McLarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McLarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McLarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McLarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
1.
This morning on the McLarty Daniel Hotline, we've talked about enforcers. That's kind of been a theme throughout the show. Draymond Green recommended the Indiana Fever getting one, with Caitlin Clark getting roughed up a little bit. He suggested Oliver Miller with the Phoenix Suns. I guess even Oliver as an Arkansas Razorback
The
too.
Big O. Yeah.
Oh, that would be one. I'm not as familiar what he did with the Suns. I don't know, he didn't play a lot in the NBA, but yeah, definitely a guy that defended Shaquille O'Neal as about as good as you could in college back in the day. So that's a good text in, Taylor. All right, your SEC update. Justin Jefferson got paid 4 years, $140 million, 110 of it guaranteed, highest wide receiver contract in NFL history. The former LSU Tiger. I don't know if I'm necessarily loving to live in Minnesota year after year, but financially he is set for life. And you're seeing these massive contracts come down with like Jalen Waddle, Alabama wide receiver Justin Jefferson. A lot of these marquee players that are getting like skill position guys. It's like, oh, they're in the SEC about 6, 7, 4 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah,
it's just another one of them.
And league's growing in that way. So no question. What sport's not dominant now in the 3 major sports when it comes to draft and players in the pros? They're all there.
Hard to find one.
Yeah.
So,
Basketball's the one that's really coming along.
Yep. College football-wise, 2025 Hall of Fame ballot has been announced. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, 2 legendary SEC coaches are on the ballot. Some other SEC guys like Mark Ingram also included. Saban, because he's 70-plus years old, doesn't have to wait the duration that usual college football coaches have to.
Is it normally 5 years? I may be confusing that with the NFL Hall of Fame, but
I don't know. It's not in any of my notes that I have, but it's probably because Meyer got out of the game 5 years ago about that. So yeah, that I'd probably say that's a good estimate on your part. But we were talking about the Atlanta earlier. You do need to. I know you're going to be short time in Kansas City, but maybe not this go around. Bruce was talking about the College Basketball Hall of Fame. It's a really unique exhibit. We've both been in the college football one. The college basketball one's awesome.
Yeah, and that's where we need more Razorbacks in there. Need more Razorbacks in that one.
Wayne Martin up for the College Football Hall of Fame. He's one of the 150 people that could potentially wind up. I don't know what kind of shot he has to end up on it. I know he's not as he's a big name in our neck of the woods, across our state. A lot of you know who that is. But I don't know. Again, I don't know where he is in the pecking order of college football because I get so Razorback focused sometimes, kind of like when we're doing a show, and I think, oh, this is a big national story, and in reality, it's not that big outside of the state. So I don't know where he's in the pecking order.
He was a great Razorback, and he was a great New Orleans Saint as well. So congratulations to him for being considered, and hope he gets there.
5 SEC teams advance to the Super Regionals. Arkansas is the only national seed that will not be hosting this weekend. Tennessee's got Evansville. Kentucky's got Oregon State. A&M's hosting Oregon. North Carolina's got West Virginia, Clemson, and Florida. They're playing in Clemson. Florida State, UConn, Georgia, and NC State, and then Virginia and Kansas State are the Super Regional matchups this weekend. I'm sure the Cavaliers and everyone in Charlottesville is happy that Arkansas lost, so they get to continue on the Super Regional. You kind of asked this earlier. I think the best odds to advance is Tennessee. The worst odds is Florida, but I would put Based on the matchup alone, Kentucky having to play Oregon State is probably the second most difficult regional of the teams that are hosting. Or actually, excuse me, the first most difficult one of the teams that are hosting based on that setup.
Yeah, I'd say Oregon State's the best opponent. Tennessee's got the easiest route because they're playing Evansville. Georgia's not going to have an easy time with NC State. I think A&M and Georgia are about even there. I think the hardest track is obviously Florida because they're going on the road to Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a chance if Kentucky, A&M, Georgia, and Florida all won their supers that side of the Omaha bracket, the College World Series bracket, would be 4 SEC teams playing in that one bracket.
Wow.
Tennessee is the only SEC team on their side.
Frankly, I'm surprised we don't have a single SEC matchup in the supers because I think we
that's right.
anticipated that was going to happen because of how things played out. With 6 SEC teams didn't lose it, but you still have a chance to, I think, break a College World Series record by having 5 teams in. So you got 11 teams in, which was a record. If you get 5 teams in Omaha, that would also be a record.
Arkansas, the only one of the top 8 to not advance to the super regionals, and I think 11 of the 16 top 16 seeds, national seeds, all got there. So disappointing to be one of those teams, but I think we could kind of see it coming based on injuries and based on the way things went the last month or so. All right, that's your SEC update brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Now 3 locations that you can stop by and see them. Now in Greenland, also Fort Smith, and in Springdale. You can dive into summer with a Doughboy above-ground pool, talking 18 feet in your own backyard, steel wall construction, up to $1,500 off right now. That's payments as low as $75 a month. Semi-in-ground pools made by Doughboy, under $200 a month, and you get a free robotic cleaner. It's all at Burton Pools and Spas, where they build more than pools. They build long-term relationships. They're in Springdale, Fort Smith, and now in Greenland. Find them online at burtonpools.com.
Let's talk to Gentle Ben, who's been patiently waiting on the McLarty Daniel hotline. What's up, man?
Man, everything y'all are talking about is so interesting. I can talk about all of them, but I won't. Don't worry. Or try to. But I would say of all the things y'all talked about, the main thing I was thinking about this morning is I hope we don't fire a coach, baseball coach.
Not going to
y'all
happen.
think there's very much
not
going
to happen. No,
That's all I want to hear. That's good.
Are you talking about Dave Van Horn? Are you talking about Dave Van Horn? No, there's not even. That's just a handful of upset fans. There is no one actually considering that. So, no, that's not a conversation.
I didn't figure so, but it makes me feel a whole lot better hearing y'all say that. So appreciate that. And it's and like everybody else, hitting's got to change and all like that, and get better. And I just feel like that you can't. Both some people say, well, defense wins championships, but if you don't score enough runs, you can't make it either. Kind of like football, you got to have the defense and the offense too. And so, anyway, that's just kind of what I had on my mind this morning. Y'all really do a great job, and I'm just one thing I didn't get a chance to get on the other day. When I always say and announce to everybody that I can on the sports talk shows that the day that Arkansas loses, plays their last game and loses or whatever, when we don't win the championship, that day after the game's over, it's mourning time, as some people say. We mourn for the rest of that day and that night. And then whatever time you guys get up in the morning to make it to a 6 a.m. show, that is the start of college football. That day is the start of the college football for old Gentle Ben.
86 days out from Razorback football, Gentle Ben.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a little bit harder nowadays than it used to be on us old fans or fanatical idiot fans or whatever, because used to there could be a lot of cheating going on and get by with it, where you could practice, do whatever, and you still get some notes on, hey, call somebody, one of your buddies from Fayetteville, and say, how's this guy doing? How's things going up there? But it seems like now the way everything is, you can't, and the practice are closed. I'm glad they are, so our first place anyway, so they don't know what we're doing, all that stuff. But anyway, now it's harder to know what, to talk about it, get in news or whatever, the way things are, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's more contained. And we appreciate your call, General Ben. Coaches don't want people, media, fans, or whatever practice to select boosters here and there get a chance to watch. But yeah, there is less. You're 100% right. There is less that comes out of that. So I've been paying more attention to Oklahoma State than I have UAPB, I think for obvious reasons. And you're going to go up against an offensive force in that week too in Stillwater. I don't think it should be expected that Sam and Bobby go win that. Now, if they somehow pull it off, then you're going to maybe change the outlook on your season based on defeating what I would assume is going to be the Big 12 favorite this upcoming year, maybe outside of Utah. But that is going to be a daunting task that awaits you in Boone Pickens Stadium based on maybe the best offensive line in college football, a returning quarterback, the best running back in college football, and a steady group of wide receivers. Yeah. It is not going to be easy in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Yeah. Hey, let me share a quick word for my friend Brett Good, who played with the Packers, former Razorback. He's now in the real estate business in Northwest Arkansas. His wife, Monica, you might remember her. She's from Fayetteville. She was on the Amazing Race and won that. They're a dynamic team because Brett's from Fort Smith and really understands the Sebastian and Crawford County markets and can help you there. Monica's from Northwest Arkansas and really gets the Washington and particularly the Benton County markets right now. That's where they both live, and they can help you either side of the tunnel. But if you're looking to buy or sell a second home near, say, Beaver Lake, they are specializing and have several listings for second homes right now and really have a good feel for that Beaver Lake market. You're looking for maybe your dream home or forever home near Bentonville or Rogers or Bella Vista, perhaps. They can help you with that as well. They have a really good feel for the market. They understand how to market your property if you're listing. They understand how to negotiate and get you the best deal on that home you've always dreamed of as well. So give Brad or Monica a call. They're a great team. You get 2 for 1 when you hire these guys. 479-651-2292 is their number. 479-651-2292. For Brett and Monica Good with Collier and Associates in Northwest Arkansas.
All right, that's going to wrap up our show here on a Bandwagon Tuesday. Appreciate everyone joining us today. We'll get an update from Richard Davenport on the latest edition. I think it's the 7th player football-wise that was added to the class of 2025 yesterday. Quinn out of Park. It's either Johnson. I think it's Quentin Johnson, if I remember that right. The young quarterback out of Parkview, Arkansas. 5 D1 prospects, at least, on that roster for Brad Boulding and company. And hopefully many, if not all of those guys will end up as Arkansas Razorbacks. We'll also get a chance to catch up with Clay Henry, get his thoughts on baseball, what happened this weekend, maybe kind of Dave's terminology and what he's thinking moving forward with the different type of athlete that he sets his eyes on getting to campus. And we've got college baseball to look forward to this weekend, just unfortunately not Arkansas-related baseball. Of the 5 teams in the SEC, Tennessee probably has the best chance, not odds-wise, but also to win the whole thing. We'll see if Tony Vitello and the Volunteers can break the curse that's been alive since 1999, I guess, since Miami did it back then. Appreciate everyone joining us today. As always, for Tommy Kraft, for Christian Johnston, and Bruce Stan, I'm Ty Richardson. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We're back tomorrow with your beefs on a What's Your Beef Wednesday.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community.